of the United stand, Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. It's nervous for some, it's exciting for others. At the moment, I'm just, I want to get the game started. It's been a long week since that loss last week to Brighton. Waiting for Monday Night Football, 8 days, and we need to get on the pitch and see what these players are made of. Lots and lots of rumours about the team. I mean, my stance, look, I will be pragmatic and I will give an opinion on the team, and I'm sure there'll be a couple of things in it I'm not really happy about. But what I would say as well is that we've been in this situation many times on the United stand over the last 3 years when the team comes out and people have a meltdown. And that's fine, but I've done that in the past and then I look a little bit stupid when we go and win the game. And I do think Manchester United are going to win this game. People can say confidence before a fall, whatever. But you know what? I do care about that because I'm a Manchester United fan. I want Manchester United to win. I expect Manchester United to respond to a defeat and win a home game against Spurs. Am I wrong to expect that? Maybe I am living in the past. Maybe Manchester United are under the decline. Maybe the players aren't backing Jose Mourinho. We'll know a lot of these answers in the 90th minute and beyond. When we get the fan cams coming in, the match reactions. Remember, we've got a Skype call in for you at full time as well. But I think the expectation that Manchester United will respond to that embarrassing loss to Brighton and win a home game in front of a home crowd isn't too much to expect. Whether they can deliver or not, I don't know. I think the team is rather... look, if Jose Mourinho, and I've tweeted this, you can follow me on @MarkGoldbridge if you want some brilliant tweets every 3 or 4 times a day. I'm joking, but no, do follow me. But I did say, look, I won't be shocked if we see Fellaini, Jones, Smalling, Young start tonight. If he does do that, though, there's no future in this. It might work as a one-off game every now and again against Spurs, but you're not... They're 4 players that are struggling to get into any Premier League team apart from Cardiff. And let's be honest, that is the truth. So Jose Mourinho can default to those players, but I'll be really upset if Lindelof and Bailly are not playing tonight because... this was one of the big things. I mean, I just feel a bit hung out to dry by Jose in some ways because I have backed him. I do want him to do well. And one of the things that he has let us down on, those people who've backed him like me, is that he hasn't changed the style of football. He's got to change the style of football if he wants to remain at Manchester United. That is an absolute... It can't be moved. He's got to change the style of football. But one of the other things as well is that he needed some consistency in his team selection. And I know a lot of people fell off that bandwagon last week, but I've stuck on it. Yes, Lindelof and Bailly weren't great last week, but I would stick by them for 10 games. And in 10 games' time, they'll be making fewer mistakes and they'll be a really good centre-back partnership. I've been watching football for many, many years, and all centre-back partnerships need time to develop, and they develop through games together. If we're going to change our centre-backs every time somebody makes a mistake, we are never going to develop as a club. And it baffles me that Jose Mourinho, as still on paper arguably the best manager in the world, cannot figure out that keeping your team steady is the way to go. And let's not forget, he picked those players last week and he's going to drop them because they make mistakes. How are they... He may as well sell Bailly and Lindelof, because if you're going to drop them for mistakes, their confidence is shot. So I am a little bit concerned about what the team news might be. But having said that, I don't think it matters what the team is tonight. I'm not jumping on bandwagon. Everything's fine and well, even if we win tonight. Tonight's about getting 3 points, and I think when Manchester United lose a game of football like they did last week, we should expect that. It's what we do against Burnley and Watford that's going to matter, because they're the games that we've traditionally struggled with in the last 6 to 12 months. So that's where it matters to me. Tonight, win, move on. That's what I expect. I will not, unless we do something we've never done before and wipe the floor with Spurs, then it's 3 points and we move on. Bay and Smalling says MUFC okay. I mean, there are some rumours. Let me just have a look at some of the news stories there. Obviously, captain returns. We expect Valencia to be captain. That's on my left there. Mourinho must win game against informed Spurs. Yes, I'd agree with that. Matic rumoured to be playing in the back 3. And Martial and Bay not part of the squad, question mark. Well, these are rumours that are floating around. I mean, if Matic is playing in the back 3... I know a lot of people think it's a good idea, but Michael Carrick is 10 times the player Matic ever was. And Carrick used to play at centre-back, but I think we're looking back with rose-tinted glasses. Carrick used to play as a centre-back in a desperate situation, but he wasn't brilliant there. It was a stopgap, it was a make-do. Why would we move one of the best centre defensive midfielders in the league to play as a centre-back? It's an elastoplast when we've got 4 centre-backs. it would be sort of petulant from Mourinho to do it. We've never played 3-5-2 as far as I can remember at home. We've played it very well away from home, and it is a system I like. There's no reason not to play it at home. So if we do that tonight, I'll be quite encouraged by that. There also is rumours that Young will play at left back and Shaw will get dropped. I don't think Luke Shaw deserves to be dropped. He was the one player who I think came out of the Brighton game with his reputation intact. So I would be disappointed by that, but we will see. We have got 5 minutes till the team news officially comes in, and we will wait and see. I'm sure we're gonna all be very, very nervous to see it. Carrick is not small, says Prince. Carrick is small, says Prince Fresh. Carrick was 6'2". Mate, it's been very long. Still hasn't been 90 days. Like what? I don't know what he's on about. It's Mourinho. We always play 5 at the back, says Shells HD. Matic is better defensively than Carrick, but Carrick was better all round, says Andrew Malloy. I think Michael Carrick was fantastic defensively as well. He never did slide tackles because he reads the game so well. Come on, Luke Shaw won't be dropped, says Dia. I hope so. Hope not. Nobody knows our best team, and it's 2 years, says Scott Hage. I think that is something that a lot of people say, and I can't argue with you there on Scott. That good comment here from Ila Sabajan, who says Pogba needs to play well. We also expect Alexis Sanchez will play in this game. And I think Alexis Sanchez needs to have a very good game as well. As does Paul Pogba, you're right. I think Pogba and Sanchez have got to have big games in this match today. They are top 10 Premier League players, those two. You know, they may not be performing at that standard, but if you were naming your top 10 Premier League players, Sanchez and Pogba should be in there. They're not at the moment on form, but on ability they are. We need to see that ability. And we shouldn't dismiss Spurs. Spurs they know how to play football. They've been playing it for a number of years under Pochettino. They know each other really well. They will move the ball around. I can't see a situation where Manchester United won't give up possession to Spurs. 2 weeks ago we did it against Leicester and we gave them the ball. So I can't see how we're not going to do that against Spurs, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Spurs will definitely have the possession, 70% and above. So it'll be long balls to Fellaini, says Alex Cabaraka. Yes, I am. I will not be surprised to see Fellaini starting as well, but let's try not to have a meltdown. Let's just try and at least give it a little bit of patience until kickoff. Spurs are bottlers, says George Kyle. Well, that goes in our favour, definitely. They've got a terrible record at Old Trafford. I think they've only won once in 10 years. Need to play better through the midfield to have a chance, says Andrew Rossi, unless we bypass the midfield, like Alex says, and we just hit long balls. I think we can win tonight, but I'm extremely nervous, says David Trainer. I'm not nervous. I would probably be leaning towards more excitement, and I'm excited because I think the fans know what's required today. I just want to see what the players have got. I mean, we'll see what happens with the team news, but apparently Martial and Bay not even involved. And I just think, again, the management of Mourinho is abysmal. We've not got a very good squad, a very big squad. Why, when the transfer window is shut, are we isolating players? Martial doesn't like you, Jose. You don't like him. Find a way to work together. Kicking him out of the squad is not going to make him suddenly come knocking on your door with a birthday present saying, I love you, Jose. And he's not going to speak like that because he's French. It's not going to happen. He doesn't like you. You don't like him. So bloody what? Just work together for the better of Manchester United and stop the egos. We need to see that. I know it's not going to happen tonight, but if we're going to be successful this season, you've got to have Anthony Martial involved. You've certainly got to. Herrera will start today, says Noel Shall. I'm very excited to see what this team news is going to be, and it will be coming up in the next couple of minutes because we are very, very close to them releasing the team news. It's about an hour till kick-off now, and we should have team news coming in for you anytime in the next few seconds. And my predicted team, I can't even remember what it was from the other day. If anyone can remember it, that would be absolutely fantastic because I'd love to know what the team was that I predicted. I can't remember, but I don't think I'm going to get many right, and I don't think many of us will do. Sad to say, but I'm not excited nor nervous. Even if we win, it's not going to be exciting. I predict a draw, says Jake Graham. I think it's like me and Rance were saying on the Sunday night show last night. We need to win this game of football. We need to get in the top four, and to do that, you've got to win. You've got to win the game, haven't you? So yeah, let's see what the team is, and let's take it a step by step. If we lose this, we're starting to get in trouble. We have a difficult end of the season. We must win, says Ben. But look, if we don't win today, we're 6 points off first place, aren't we? So that's not good after 3 games. We've got to win this game of football. And a draw, I will say now, a draw's not good enough. I know circumstances might determine a draw's good enough if we get a last-minute equaliser or whatever like that, or it's one of the best games the Premier League's ever seen and it's a 4-4 draw. I think we'd all go, we'll take the point. But the reality is we've got to win this game. We've got to win it. We're at home. It's not at Spurs. We're at home. We've got to win this game of football without question. And I hope that we will do that. Right, let's have a look what's going on with this team news. We take a deep breath and we await it. It should be coming in any second now as I keep refreshing. Valiantly, if that's a word, I believe it is. Okay, here we go. Manchester United. Team news is in. Take a deep breath. No Fellaini starting. That's the name I always look for. Phil Jones starts. Chris Smalling starts. Luke Shaw starts. Valencia starts as captain. Matic, Herrera, Fred, Pogba, Lingard, Lukaku. What the hell are we doing? I think we might be playing a 3-5-2 because it looks like no Eric Bailly, no Sanchez on the bench, no Martial. Wow. Absolutely wow. So, get your comments flying in. I'm going to have to make a couple of tweaks to the team news that I have on the left for you because that's not the team that I thought it was going to be. And Jones, Smalling and Matic back 3. We are not in trouble. I disagree with the meltdown. We're not in trouble. We will be fine. We will be fine. But I am slightly worried by that team because I just don't get what you're doing with your centre-backs, Joe. I don't get what you're doing with your centre-backs at all. I can't understand it. It really, really baffles me why he's done that. Why? You've got 2 centre-backs that you play in your first 2 games and then you drop them. Just typical. I'm really, really disappointed by that. But, you know, I still think we can get the result. No Eric Bailly. I don't think Eric Bailly does have an injury, to be honest. A lot of people, I've heard this from a lot of people that Eric Bailly's got an injury. I'm not convinced by that. It's a 4-3-2-1. Get the hands break on that bus, says Jamie N. It is a very defensive lineup from Manchester United, I must admit. And the Chuckle brothers are back. Well, you know what? I cracked a joke about that earlier on. Chris Smalling and Phil Jones have always been called the Chuckle Brothers. Of course, one of the Chuckle Brothers in real life died quite recently. We're not talking about that. Smalling and Jones have always been the Chuckle Brothers. They live on. So, yeah, that's what United fans do call them. Ross, can you hear me? Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit there, but hopefully it's just the first few seconds. Have you seen the team news? What are your thoughts?
I have seen it. I can't quite work out whether Matic is back or not. I do hear that as a rumour, which is interesting. But yeah, I think it's an interesting lineup, to be honest. One of the biggest games of Jose's career at United. To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be in the minority here, but I wouldn't have played Bailly Lindelof today. I just don't think he can risk it. And look, you're going to get 6 out of 10s out of Smalling. And you're probably going to get it from Jones as well, but at least it's consistent because God knows what you're going to get out of Bailly at the minute, and I just think it's too big of a risk for him.
I'll tell you what though, Ross, I mean, I'm sort of, there's so many aspects to look at there, but this is a park the bus team. Lingard and Lukaku and Pogba to a certain extent, the only real attacking players in there, and Fred, I suppose, but Herrera's playing, Matic is playing. It's not, I don't think any of us expected to see Martial starting, but I think many of us thought that we would see Sanchez starting. He's on the bench as well. It is quite a defensive lineup. Interestingly enough, I'm taking this in whilst we're actually live, of course. There is no Ashley Young on the bench as well. So Luke Shaw keeping his place. There's a few. There are reasons to be positive, of course, but it looks like quite a defensive side to me.
Yeah, which is a concern because I quite hear the analogy a lot that we should be going out to beat teams, and at the minute I fear that we're going out to try and stop the other team before beating them.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that's the right tactic to be a coach of Manchester United. Yeah, it may work at Real Madrid, it may work at Inter Milan, it won't work at United. But look, I always try and be reserved until I see what the team actually do, because you can play a defensive lineup and make them play attacking football. So I'm sort of wait to see, to be honest. But there's big games for like early players like Fred, because he played right against Leicester. He was shocking against Brighton. So I want a big performance from him today.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on with Martial and Bailly, but I suppose I would agree with you there that we've got a game of football here to try and win. What I would say is that maybe that's something for fans to pick up later in the week, because it can't be right that you've got players of that quality not even on your bench. Clearly there are issues there, but tonight is about tonight, isn't it? It's a one-off game, but it can't be right when you're not even involving players like that, and that's a big concern for the rest of the season, I suppose.
It is, but at the minute I've gone the other way a bit, because to be honest, mate, against Brighton, that was the dream lineup that I think we all wanted. It was literally, could have picked that player for player spot on, and it just fell apart. And at the minute, I'm kind of like, look, rest who you need to rest, chuck out who you need to chuck out. I want to see the team start playing with a bit of heart here, and I think that what happened at Brighton went beyond Jose Mourinho. I think there was a players who needed to stand up in that game, and they didn't. So it'll be interesting to see how they react today, because I think there is a little bit of a whiff around these players that they kind of feel that they've got Jose Mourinho on the ropes here. And if they want to just, if Pogba wants to put in a crap performance, which he may well do, I think these players have got the power to get him sacked. So I think if they react today, it will show where they're at with him. And if they don't, I think that's a clear sign. And if they do fold today, I don't think you can blame the tactics. I think you just got to blame the players for wanting him out, and it may happen.
It may well happen. I mean, Jose Mourinho's just talking to the press now. I can't actually hear it because I haven't got my other headphones with me. But in relation to Spurs team, I can read that out for you. We've got Lloris in goal after his drink driving. Trippier, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Rose, Dyer, Dembele, Eriksen, Lucas, Dele and Kane. So they've not gone with the back five that I think many people thought that they would. No place for Davinson Sanchez. No place for Ben Davies. I don't know whether he's picked up an injury. That's an opportunity to exploit, because I don't really rate Danny Rose. But they're packing the midfield as well with Dyer, Dembele, Eriksen, Lucas, Dele Alli. Look, you know what? I think even if United was singing and dancing and everything went brilliantly well against Brighton last week with that dream team, we must not forget that this is going to be a tough game anyway. It will be a tough game. Spurs are a decent team.
Yeah, really tough game. And there's a lot of focus, which he won't get spoken about, on Lukaku today, because he's got to hold that ball up. We need to get runners in behind. Again, I think United at Old Trafford, regardless of what Tottenham throw at us, we're Manchester United. We should be able to turn them over, especially at Old Trafford. But it is a good Tottenham team. They are playing good football. And they've got the momentum at the minute, although it's only been 2 games. But yeah, one game, I was looking at the table earlier, because we're only 3 games in. This is an absolute turning point, because if we win, you'd say, look, after 3 games, point behind City. I'm not that interested in Liverpool, to be honest. Point behind City. It's not the end of the world, but, flip that around. If you say 3 games, 4 points behind City, it won't look good and it won't read well. And then the board have got decisions to make.
Bio20 says, I wouldn't normally agree the players should have the power to get the gaffer fired, but in this case I do. I was going to come back on that, so I'm glad Bio's come back on that, because Ross was just saying there, if the players do want to get rid of Jose, then they can do it. I've got to say I'm categorically angry and totally opposed to that. I never want to see Manchester United players down in tools to get rid of a manager. I understand why people might want that, because they'll say it's for the better good, But it's a dangerous thing. I've seen it with Chelsea over the years. You cannot back players who are going to down tools to get rid of a manager. This badge, because I'm looking at myself. This badge carries a lot of importance and a lot of history, and it would be a disgrace if players down their tools. I want to see a response. But I mean, just going through that team, obviously my formation to my right is wrong, so don't think we're not playing a 4-3-3, but that is the right personnel. De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Jones and Shaw. Maybe Matic will drop back in to make it a 3-5-2, with Herrera dropping in with Fred and Pogba, and Lingard and Lukaku. I mean, the one thing I was just saying there, Ross, I just put a tweet out, is that I don't see, let's talk about creativity, I don't see much pace in that team. I think people think Lingard's fast. He's not particularly fast. Pogba's fast when he gets going, but, Lukaku, again, is a bit like Pogba. They're fast when they get sprinting, but they're not fast. There's not a lot of guile in that team. I think Lingard, Pogba and Lukaku are all fast when they stretch their legs, but there's not a lot of guile in that team. And I've got to be honest, I'm almost surprised by it. It looks like a team that's just going to play and park the bus. Because at least if you had Fellaini, you could think, well, we're going to go long ball. At least if you've got Sanchez, you can think, well, Sanchez has got the flair and the creativity. I ain't got a problem with the personnel, but I wonder where the creativity and flair is in that team. I think there's a lot. If Pogba has a bad game, I wonder where we're going to do the damage. I'm almost surprised he hasn't picked Fellaini, because Fellaini would have given us an option, certainly from the high ball.
Yeah, look.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, I think we can win this game. Yeah. I think we will do. But I think it looks like we're going to grind out a 1-0. It doesn't. I can't see that as an attacking team how it's going to work. So I'm intrigued. I think compared to Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard probably looks like Usain Bolt. Yeah. But you're right. United's team. Do you know what? United's whole squad, but there is no pace in it really. There's Martial and that's it. The rest. Real pace is, I don't like to compare, but it's Mane, he's absolutely rapid. We don't really have them anymore. But yeah, the creativity is a thing. I would have liked to have seen Sanchez play today, to be honest. And that Sanchez didn't play well against Leicester, but I actually quite enjoyed watching a player take risk after risk after risk to get the ball forward. It was really brilliant to watch. And he had a crap game and it didn't work out for him. And he lost the ball about 40 times, but it was quite refreshing to watch, because I haven't seen that at Old Trafford in a long time. Players willing to lose the ball in accordance to get an attack flowing. But I think what you said there is just a real key state of where we're at, because you said Pogba, it all relies around him today. And I think you're absolutely spot on. It is. If Pogba plays shit, we will lose. If Pogba plays well, we'll probably win. Couldn't be like that. And I think that's where we're at as a team at the minute. We do rely on that one man who is not performing and hasn't really performed for us. But it's there. If he does, the balance of our team will change. But I don't like being that reliant on one player. We should be further on than that now. I tell you what, something else has just absolutely disgusted me, and I am going to go on this one. Where's Andreas Pereira? Why is he not even on the bloody bench? I mean, Martial, Mata, Bay and Pereira are not even on the bench. And I presume Scott bloody McTominay's on the bench. I haven't double checked on that. But just a quote from Mourinho. I mean, McTominay makes the bench and Pereira's dropped. That is just catastrophic. I mean, this is a manager who I'm struggling with at the moment. But his statement is, against Brighton, we did not play well. We made mistakes, so we changed the team. The game before, we played well without making mistakes. Total control, deserved victory. We haven't changed the team. So Mourinho basically saying there, if the team plays bad, I'm going to change it. I have a big problem with that, because I think I've seen Man City under Pep play against Liverpool and play rubbish, and he makes hardly any changes. I think I'm a firm believer that consistency is key. And Jose it's one of the things I said over the summer. I know we've not spoken for a few weeks, but obviously I think the style of play is important. But one of the gripes I've always had with Jose is that there's no consistency. He changes the team every week, which is why we never know what our best 11 is, and it's why we never have a philosophy, because the team changes too much.
It's bad management to me, to be honest, because what you do if a team plays crap, which is going to happen throughout your managerial career, happened under the whole of the Fergie era, is you sit that player down after the game and you go, you've got a chance to rectify this now, and you've got to put in the performance of your life next weekend, and you've got to prove to the fans and to everyone out there that you are good enough to play for Manchester United. You don't just drop them, because then they have no answer. They've got no they've got one chance. You can't live like that. You can't manage people like that. So if that's, I'd like to think that these players have got niggling injuries or something, but I doubt it. But it's bad management. That is very poor management, and I don't agree with it. I'm with you. I'm not going to join a managerial out brigade, but at the same time, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. But probably like you, all I want is for Jose to work out at United. I really want that. Want it so much, but he needs to change. He's got to do that whilst winning as well. So he's put himself in a bit of a sticky situation.
I just look at the bench, to be honest, and I think, that team hasn't got a lot of creativity in it. And then you look at the bench, you've got Ashley Young, who's a fullback, McTominay, God knows what he is, Fellaini is a hoofball option, and then you've got Rashford and Sanchez. And I think you could also have, all right, Martial, you've got Rashford and Sanchez, so yeah, okay, maybe not using Martial, but certainly Pereira's a better option than McTominay and Fellaini, who effectively are the same player. I just think, what has Andres Pereira done? That US tour was an embarrassment, and he was head and shoulders above anybody. He was the one bright spark. I didn't think he played terribly against Brighton. He's been asked to play in a role that he's never played before, and then he gets rewarded by being kicked out of the squad altogether. I think it's I've got to say, I think that won't really have a lot of impact on the result, but I think it's disgusting from Mourinho. Yet again, it goes against what this club's all about. I hadn't even noticed that about Pereira because there's so much to talk about, but I'll be honest, I don't like the look of that at all. I think it's really, really bad. I understand why he's done the other things, but that's wrong. Soberting TV says, come on United, 3 points is a must. Yes. Jack Carr, no wonder our centre-backs have no confidence. One loss and out the sodding team. Sod Jose and sod his treatment of players. That's not how you inspire. I sort of agree with that. I think consistency is key, but Mourinho seems to be stubborn about that, amongst other things. But Ross, must-win game. How are we going to do it? Do you think we'll do it? What's your score prediction?
I struggle, mate. I really struggle. I think this is going to be the only time. This is the first time I'm ever going to go on the United stand and predict that we're probably not going to get a result here today. I just think that set pieces is going to be very key. We're awful at them. We won't be able to score set pieces. We can't defend them. And Tottenham are awesome at them. They've got all the headers of the ball. Their delivery with Trippier is awesome. And it worries me a lot. Smalling cannot mark defenders on corners. I think positionally in a game, he's not too bad. And I think a lot of the mistakes that were made against Brighton wouldn't have been made with Smalling. But corners, he's tragic. I think we're really going to come unstuck today. So I'm not, to be honest, after the team lineup has deflated me a little bit. I've never done this on the United stand. I'm not predicting good things from United today, but I'd love to be proven wrong.
I'm going to go Manchester United 1-0 because I don't see this team doing any. I don't think this team's got 2 or 3 goals in it. It just doesn't look like. I mean, unless we're going to be bamboozled by something, there's hardly any flair or pace in that team. So I don't see 2 or 3-0. Although Spurs do sometimes bottle it at Old Trafford, so let's hope with that. But I think United might be able to grind out a 1-0. But and King Jaffe's right. He says at least Luke Shaw's playing. That is a bit of a surprise to me because Ashley Young is fit. So Luke Shaw playing is a positive. We don't have a corner taker in the whole playing 11, says Jay Krishna. We haven't really got anyone to get on the end of it either, to be honest. Chris McTeague says, WTF, is that team line about? Yep. Valencia will help the team. Hope so. We need Valencia to be fit because we're struggling down that right-hand side. It's a 3-5-2 formation, says Lou Katevsky. It's a very defensive formation, I think. Matic playing as a centre-back. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? If Matic is playing as a third centre-back, Ross, I mean, there's a lot of people who've said, I think it's a good idea. I personally think it's an up yours to the board because he has got centre-backs who can play in a back three. Lindelof is more than capable of playing in a back three. So you drop Lindelof to play your best centre defensive midfielder in the back three. It just strikes me as a little bit petulant from Jose. And I know Carrick used to play there, but it was always a stopgap. To throw Matic in as a centre back doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But maybe you have a different thought.
No, I did read your tweet and I thought you were right. It's a bit of an up yours. But at the same time, I think it could work. But what that needs to do, the thing that really winds me up about United is having 2 centre-backs and then having your 2 centre midfielders playing next to them. It's just stupid. There's such a big space in the middle of the park where we have no midfielders because they feel obliged take the ball off our centre backs, and that's been dictated to them. They must get told to take the ball off the centre backs and then bring it forward, and it doesn't work. It will work today if Matic drops in and the midfielders leave him alone, and he's that link between the two. That will work, and I really hope that's what happens. If I see Pogba dropping deep, getting the ball, Herrera is terrible for doing it. He keeps coming back in centre-back positions, passing it sideways. If they do that, it won't work today and we'll get overrun. Now, I hope that that's a tactical impetus to make Matic do all that work and then get the midfielders forward, because I saw a heat map of where our players were playing against Brighton, and the space in the middle of the park is like Sunday League. I mean, it's ridiculous. You need centre midfielders. Centre midfield is the most important position on a football pitch. I know, some people say, "Well, strike, score your goals." No, it's the midfield. If you win the midfield battle, 9 times out of 10, you win the game. And
it's where we've lost so much, isn't it, over the sort of...
we don't have a centre midfield. We struggled to replace Roy Keane, but we just about did. Carrick was amazing. We've never replaced Paul Scholes, and we're now struggling to replace Paul Scholes and Michael Carrick, and that seems ridiculous with £200 million spent on centre midfielders. But
I tell you what, though, this will drop out of my head, so I'll just chuck you this question very quickly. I suppose when we look at the midfield last season, we talk about hot knife through butter, lack of pace. I mean, there were games when we were playing Matic, Fellaini and McTominay. At least when you look at that midfield, Pogba, Fred, Herrera is far more dynamic and quick than those three.
It is, but it needs to be played right. And the thing is with Fellaini, is Mourinho actually gets him forward, which probably helps. And that midfield, to be honest, the midfield of last week, I think I said it before the game, it's probably the best midfield three I've seen play for Manchester United since the Fergie era. Pogba, Fred and Pereira is phenomenal midfield. If you put all of them three players in centre-back positions, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And to a point, I don't really blame them so much, because positionally it was awful. And so, Jose, he's better. He should be better than us, right? He should have noticed that after 10 minutes and just changed it. But kind of just went through all game with this bizarre formation. And I hope that Matic at centre-back today changes that.
I think the problem with Manchester United is, and I'm not going to take some sort of scientific, I'm a genius approach to this, because it's been spoken about on the United stand for a long, long, long time. The trouble with Manchester United is that we move the ball too slowly, and when we do get the ball, we move the ball too slowly. Andrew Rossi says, if Matic isn't up yours to the board, Jose doesn't care about the patch on his chest either. And Zoateng TV, 20 times Manchester United, 20 times champions. Well, we need to look forward, mate. We need to look forward. And, I mean, as I said before, that team tonight, I just hope it gets the 3 points. If it gets 3 points, then we look at Burnley, don't we? But to me, that is not, I saw someone in the live comments say this. I wish I'd seen the comment who said it, because I would read them out, because it's a great point. Basically saying, right, if we beat Spurs tonight, great, it's 3 points. But is that what Man City do when Spurs come to town? Is that what Liverpool do? Just totally abandon your team, your formation, and pick a team to win a game. Who are we? What is Manchester United now? And I suppose there's a lot of truth in that, Ross, because that team, we've never seen it. We've never seen this formation. Liverpool, Spurs come to Anfield, they're going to play 4-3-3 with their three attackers, they're going to play football. City aren't going to change their formation for anybody. Even Chelsea and Spurs don't change their formation, really, or their personnel that much. But we've got a manager who just seems to look at every opposition and think, I'm going to pick a team to cause that team, to stop that team. And I just wonder whether Jose ever will be the right fit for Manchester United, regardless of tonight or the next 6 months.
It can work tactically on the odd game. I think you're right. I think football's a simple game, and you've just got to put 11 players out there, and them 11 players need to know what their job is. And it worked so well for England in the summer with, a not so great squad. They all knew their roles, they all knew their positions, and they played as a team. There's no way United players know what they're doing. They've been training this formation probably, 5 days? And it's baffled me. I remember talking to you last season, and we started playing the 3-5, whatever, playing 3 at the back. And it was working so well, playing some great football. The Man City fixture come about. we totally abandoned it and played, shit ever since, to be honest. I never get why we stopped using that formation. There was no logical reason for it. He's dropped back to it now, it looks like, but just get some consistency in the team. At least get the players know what they're doing, because, look, the opposition don't know what we're doing, but that's because we don't, and it's bizarre, because you're right. Liverpool play the same formation every week. Everyone knows what they're going to do, but at the minute it's proven to be unstoppable, and I'd much rather that than this year not knowing what's going on.
A superstition we have on the United Stand is that we like to get 1,000 likes before kick-off. I think we need that superstition tonight, so please do drop a like, and hopefully that means a win. Stephen Brooks says, think it's going to be a loss, but I hope we can win 2-0. I think we've got to stay positive, and hopefully United can pull off a result. I mean, a lot of people have said this in the live comments as well, and it is a very, very good point. When you think about, Phil Jones comes back into the team. Not good enough even to get off the bench for England. Cost us about 12 points last year and an FA Cup final. This is a guy who can continually make mistakes, but always finds himself in starting in the big games, especially against Spurs. Funnily enough, he made a mistake against Spurs, didn't he? And the same with Smalling. They're both centre-backs that make a lot of mistakes. So is there not a bit of hypocrisy from Jose Mourinho? Because he's come out and said, look, I'm changing the team because of mistakes. But Smalling and Jones have made absolutely loads of mistakes. And yet they still manage to start the big games. Is that fair on the likes of Lindelof and Bay?
No.
Especially when they're Mourinho's signings.
I was playing Chris Smalling all day in this fixture. I think that last time he played against Harry Kane, he pocketed him. He's always played well against him, and Harry Kane does have the ability to bully centre-backs out of a game, and I'd have feared for Lindelof, to be honest. So I'd have brought Smalling in for Lindelof, but Bailey, I would have given another chance to. I think Jones and Smalling, you're right. Jones is a calamity. I think Gareth Southgate was a fool for picking him over to Smalling. I think Smalling's a better centre-back, my opinion. But I think he's a much better centre-back than Phil Jones. Phil Jones is an absolute mess of a defender. And if Harry Kane's got any sense, he'll avoid Matic, he'll avoid Smalling, because they will pocket him. And I think Harry Kane's actually quite an easy striker to play against, because his movement's not that great.
But you're right, I know where you're going with this, because when we played them in January, Harry Kane just put himself against Jones and absolutely destroyed him. Yeah,
and that's what he'll do today if he's got any sense. And then we'll have to double up because we'll be worried about Phil Jones, and then that'll leave gaps. And it's where it all goes wrong. That's why you have to start solid from the back, because that doubling up doesn't work. And I fear that's what we'll do. And that's maybe why Matic is in there.
Joe Deep says that Mark's being over negative. I'm not being over negative. I think we're going to win this game. Ross is saying that he's a bit worried about it. I think we will win this game, because whatever, I will never jump on a lineup and go, that's rubbish, we're not going to win, until the 90th minute, because I've seen it happen so many times, and Ross has been on before. We've gone, what a rubbish team, and then we go and put a performance in. Let's not forget, this United team is responding to a bad, embarrassing result. So they've got to respond. We're at Old Trafford. The crowd will respond. So I think that, Mourinho could have picked any team tonight, and I'd still expect them to win because they're responding. But if you're telling me that 11 out there is going to go and get us in the top 4, I'd be worried. I would be worried, because I've seen Chelsea. They've got a style of play. I've seen Spurs over the last 2 years. They've got a style of play. And Liverpool and City have as well. Well, that's 4 teams. So how are we going to get in the top 4? Are we going to have another season of grinding it out? Maybe we are. But there's massive... I think, it's got to be about the game. We've got to win this game. But I also think Mourinho has thrown up a load more big talking points this week. And we won't be out the press this week, because... where is Bay? Where is Martial? Where is Pereira? Where is Mata? These are questions that... And you've got a player... Look, I don't like to talk badly about young players, and I hope he turns out to be a great player. But why is Scott McTominay taking a place on the bench? I think he's dreadful. I think he was dreadful on the tour. I think he's been dreadful for a long time. And he's taken a place on the bench that, professional, experienced players like Mata... Now, Mata's not a right midfielder, but he can give you something in the last 20 minutes of a game. Pereira could. Martial certainly could. Eric Bailly gives you another option if you're playing 3 at the back. But we've put Scott McTominay in there. It's weird. There's some weird decisions going on. But they're for another night. This is about winning this game. And I believe that we'll do it. But there's a lot of people saying, what the hell is that team? Jose does have a style of play, we just all hate it, says Tato. I mean, that's a good question there, Ross. Do you think do you think we are a bit all arrogant and superior? Do you think Mourinho actually does have a style of play, we just don't want to accept that it is defensive, slow and pragmatic?
It's a really, really good point, actually. Maybe he does, but it doesn't work and it needs to change, and he must know that. But yeah, no, we do have the style of play, you're right. We do have an identity, but it's crap. And I think Jose will know that needs to change, and I think he'll just use the personnel. I think Jose, I'd say this, I don't think getting two centre-backs would have really changed a lot of the issues in this team, playing the way we're playing now. And I think Jose's been very clever, and he's probably going to use that as an excuse to buy himself a bit more time, maybe even another year. And the fans may buy into that. And I've already seen the blame divert to Woodward, which is fair.
Well, Jose said himself, didn't he, that if I don't get the signings, we're in for a disappointing season, which I think is a disgusting thing for a manager to say. Yeah. But you're right, he's given himself that excuse.
Yeah, it's clever, and the fans have bought into it, and I don't blame them for that. But he's a clever man, Jose, and he knows what he's doing. But yeah, that's my fear. And Fred wasn't enough. I think we spoke about it. We needed two centre midfielders. Didn't happen. I know Pereira come back in, but look, if you're not going to play him, we've only got one. So yeah, some strange decisions. But like, I really want this. I want us to win. But the biggest fear tonight, and I can't believe I'm saying it to a United fan, but the biggest fear tonight is like we get an early goal, because that's where we really break down in the minute. I kind of feel like our best chance of winning this is the same terms we won against them last time, which is push them to the end and get a late goal, which was Martial last time, because it doesn't give them time to come back. Because the way we recede back into our own penalty area when we go 1-0 up is the most disappointing thing I've seen about United over the last couple of years.
Yes. Is the monitor on? So yeah, I mean, well, we'll see what happens with it. I'll let you get off, Ross, because you've been on for half an hour. It's great to have had you back on, and hope you can join us for a few more. But I hope that you're wrong. There is nothing wrong with, look, I don't think there's any problem with any United fan who's very worried about this game tonight. I think it's Spurs are a good team, and we should respect that. And I think the one thing I'll take away from what you said, Ross, is that this team is. How many players have we changed? Maybe 4 or 5. They will have only been working on this tactic this week. We're playing a team that has been playing the same way for about 2 years, and more or less the same 11. That, in football, as you know, is a massive advantage.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I think from the Leicester game, there's about 7 or 8, to be honest. Because Lukaku didn't start, Herrera didn't start, Lingard didn't start. We've got a whole pretty much new back four. It's like a new team again. So, look, I'd like just wipe the slate clean. Let's start the season again from today. And like I say, get a win, and there'll be, things change quick in football. Get a win, and there'll be this surrounding positivity around United again, which is what we all want.
Definitely. Well, cheers, pal, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
And that is true, as I said last night. If we can beat Spurs tonight, and it's a big if because it's a big game, but if we can beat Spurs tonight, we play Burnley next Sunday in Burnley. But Burnley are playing Europa League football on Thursday, and they're 3-1 down. So they're going to have a big game on Thursday night because they put not a lot of time into that. So we're going to play a tired Burnley team next Sunday with a week off. So that plays into our hands. That's 3 points there. We should beat Burnley next week. And I know we should beat Brighton, but we know what Thursday, Sunday does. It's exhausting. So beat Spurs, beat Burnley, international break, come back, and we'd only be 3 points off the top no matter what. So I want your honest opinion, Mark, says anonymous intro. Do you really think that we will challenge for the Premier League title this season? No, I don't even have to hesitate. I said this before. I hoped that we would, but already for me there are enough things that have gone wrong at Manchester United in the first 2 weeks that, I did that show before, didn't I? These are the last days of Rome, says Liam. Thanks for the contribution. Remember, if you want to make a contribution, it's the $sign. Please do leave us a question, though, so that we can read it out for you. Look, I said it during the summer, and a lot of people said this, so I'm only reiterating what a lot of you said, that if Mourinho wants to win the players and win a title, he's got to change the style of play. Well, we haven't seen that change. He's also got to be consistent in his team selection. Well, we've seen that ignored again. Here we are. We lose one game to Brighton, and he changes half the team. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't keep doing that. And he's been doing it for 2 years. As I said last night, Sarri at Chelsea has got a style of play that's abundantly clear to anyone who's watched football, and they've only played 3 games. It's this season 3 for Jose, and we're still seeing different formations, different players, different philosophies. There's no consistency, and it's never going to win you a title. I think we'll get top 4, and we may win a trophy, but we cannot win a title with this sort of haphazard approach. And what a comment from Ryan Giggs that I read tonight as well. Look, we're so excited when Jose Mourinho came to the club. Watching his interviews was always really exciting. Not anymore. And that's it. And that's not a criticism from Giggs of Mourinho. This is what I've been saying about Mourinho for a long time. He's not in love with football anymore. What happened to Chelsea scarred him, and he switched off. He is not in love with football anymore. He is doing this for a job. Bay isn't even in the squad, Fanatics Gaming. Pereira, Martial, Mata, Bailly, not even on the bench. Completely dropped. The team is there on my left, and it is De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Matic, Jones, Shaw in a back 5, we believe. Fred, Pogba, Herrera in a midfield 3, with Lingard playing off Lukaku. We expect to see a 3-5-2. Those players are good enough to win us this game, by the way. Those players are good enough to win us this game of football, and they should still win it. I still think there's massive problems with Manchester United. Those players are good enough. Mata should have been sold. Well, I don't think it was a very good transfer window. We know that. I wonder what Mata actually offers us now, because he's certainly no right midfielder because he hasn't got the legs, and we never play him as a number 10. So I don't know what Mata actually offers Manchester United. As much as I love him and I think he's a fantastic servant to the club, he's not a player that's... I don't see what he offers us because we've never played him in the position that he is. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner if you're new. Please do share the video and also drop a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes before kick-off. I'll have Mad Marcus will be joining me. Don't worry about that. My sidekick for the watch-alongs, he will be here very, very soon. But before we get to that, I just want to make sure that I've read all your super chats because we've had a few. Here we go. Karen Banzai says, would you take a loss today if it means Jose getting the sack? Let us know in the live comments. For me, it's 100% no. I never want Manchester United to lose games, apart from probably 2. David Moyes, at the end, I would have took a loss to get rid of him because it was so bad. And Van Gaal... Even I wanted rid of Van Gaal, and I was worried that when he won the FA Cup, that might make him keep his job. But I still wanted to win the FA Cup. I can't do that. Some fans, guys, there's nothing wrong if you say, if I knew 100% Mourinho would get the sack if we lost to Spurs, I'd take the 3 points. Because to be honest with you, if we lost to Spurs tonight, and Mourinho gets the sack, and you get Zidane or Pochettino or whoever, we're only 6 points off the top. With a new manager, you could close that up. You definitely could get top 4. So I can see why some people would want it. From my point of view, we won't sack Mourinho if we lose this game. So it's not going to happen anyway. Think it's going to be a loss. Okay, we've read that comment. If Matic isn't up yours at the board, Jose doesn't care. Yeah, we've done that one. Diamond with Pogba at tip and Lingard with Lukaku, says GMD. Yes, I agree with that. And... I would love to see the same starting 11 for a couple of weeks, says Andrew Rossi. Yes, I agree with that. And there's going to be more issues if we lose this game of football, says Craig McCullough Games. I would agree with you on that, Craig, as well. I dread to think what will happen if we lose this game. To be honest with you, I think we're going to win. I think the worst we'll get out of this is a draw, although I think if we draw, the meltdown won't be so much because people will go, well, we haven't lost the game. But to be honest with you, we've got to win this game. So I think a draw is not acceptable either. But we'll just have to wait and see. Lukaku has bricks for feet, says Crash Bandicoot. I've heard he runs around in Timberlands, but I like Lukaku. I would struggle to do that 316 because I'm actually live. But if you want to put a summary in the live comments, I'll certainly read it about the Anthony Martial situation. There's been a sort of tweet about Martial. I mean, I think it's a crying shame when you've got somebody of Martial's ability not involved. But I'm probably and Draughty Devil's joined us. He's crying that Valencia's back. I'm more upset by Pereira, to be honest. I mean, Martial and Mourinho's problems are well documented, and they don't like each other, so it's not surprising. But Andreas Pereira was so good for us on the tour. He was so good against Leicester, and McTominay's done sod all. McTominay on that tour was an embarrassment for a player who was named Mourinho's Player of the Year. He was an embarrassment on that tour. Where was the effort? Where was the ability? Pereira was fantastic. Pereira has a slightly off 45 minutes and kicked out the squad completely, and McTominay continues. I think it's disgusting. That one's the one that's wound me up the most. But that's for another day. In 20 minutes we start a game against Spurs that we bloody well need to win, and I think we'll win. I hate Jose so much, says Jay the Red Devil. 2-1 United, come on. I think we're going to have to win this game on sheer guts and determination. I don't think we're going to have the ability to beat Spurs with that team. So we're going to have to win it. We're going to have to use the crowd. We're going to have to use passion, and we're going to have to try and, grind a result out, which is what we've been doing for the last 6 months. I can't see it. Going any other way. Would Martial be leaving in the next 3 days, says the guy. The writing's on the wall, isn't it? But that's for another day. Mark Busafi on Twitter says Martial's pushing for a move, says Jack Coleman. I said this back in April. Martial will leave Manchester United because he wants to be here. He loves the fans. He loves the club. But when you've got a manager that's like a brick wall, what's he supposed to do? He's got a football career to build. He's not going to do it under Mourinho. Mourinho, like Ross said, he could be here for 2 years. If you're Martial, you've got to cut your losses and go. I'm surprised it's taken this long. Smalling and Jones are back, says Dia. We don't have a left-sided player with this lineup. Pereira could have been given a good chance there, says Mr. Blackleon. Jose is biased to the bone, says the Darkness. Same as Newcastle formation yesterday, 5 at the back at home. Get out Mourinho, says Mansour Ali. Seth says, who is the lineup? Well, it has got the lineup to my right. If you can't read it, it's De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Jones, Shaw, Matic probably dropping back into that back line with Fred, Pereira and Herrera, Lingard playing off Lukaku. Let's see what happens. I mean, obviously, Paul Pogba playing for Manchester United tonight. Terrible last week. It's funny, isn't it, how Jose's quite happy to discard people like Eric Bailly and Pereira and Mata for having a bad game against Brighton, but Paul Pogba has a disgraceful game against Brighton and starts. I just think Jose's very hypocritical. I think he's very hypocritical. He doesn't dare do it to Pogba because Pogba's like the big star, but he'll do it to players he knows he can get it away with. I just think the hypocrisy causes issues with Jose. It's a bit odd. 30% possession, says Marank Matala. Herrera as a winger, says Rad. No, don't go with my formation there. When I'm live, I can't change the formation. I actually suspect that Herrera probably will drop into the midfield 3 here, and Matic will drop into the back line there, and then Lingard will tuck in with Lukaku. That's what I think will happen. Chuckle Brothers are back at the back. Yep. Smalling and Jones. And I've got Mad Marcus joining me. Let us know where you... One thing I always like to do in the live comments before the game kicks off as well. Please do let us know where you're watching from. The United Stand Army is in full swing. We've got over 5,000 people watching, which is fantastic. So let us know where you're watching from as well. Marcus, how are you doing this evening?
Hiya, pal. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
What are you thinking about the team?
I'm baffled by it, I've got to say. I think it's going to be a 4-5-1 formation. Jones and Smalling, they're not trustworthy in my eyes. I really don't say. I know Bailly and Lindelof had a bad game last time out against Brighton, but the questions have got to be asked here of what's Pereira done? What's Martial done? Absolutely nothing as far as I'm concerned. And they're not even warranting a place on the bench, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I know I was looking on your mods chat group today. You were all bigging up Smalling, though. I know how much you love him.
Not me.
Yeah. And none of them like him. You want to get on there. I just read their comments. But I mean, we're speaking about that with Ross as well. For me, it's the number of changes. So Lingard's come in, Valencia's come in. Jones and Smalling have come in. Obviously, Matic has come back as well. That's 5 changes. That's half a team being changed.
Herrera
Herrera as well. That's 6. So over half a team. It's one thing that's infuriated me with Jose is that he changes his team every week. How can you build anything when you change? It's like trying to build a church, isn't it? And every week you're knocking bricks down to put new ones up. We're never going to build it. We're never going to build anything when we keep changing it.
You know, the thing as well that gets me is, everyone, I think, apart from Luke Shaw, really had a very bad game last time out. Alexis was nowhere to be seen, and straight away he comes in, he's got his place on the bench, and you think to yourself, well, Pereira, Matic came back. I remember having a conversation during the pre-season saying as soon as Matic comes back, he'll probably get dropped. So we were right about that one. Fellaini on the bench, Ashley Young on the bench. I mean, I would
have played Fellaini tonight.
No, well, see, I as much as I like the guy, I wouldn't have. I think Herrera.
I mean, obviously, that sounds stupid because everyone knows I don't like him. But what I mean is, I look at that team and I think I can't see where the goals are coming from. No Alexis Sanchez, no Fellaini. I mean, at least if Fellaini was in that team instead of Herrera, you'd go, or even Lingard, you'd go, well, we can hit the long ball and he hold it up. I can't see. Look, Lingard's good at running off the ball. Pogba and Lukaku's good at the ball into the channels. Pogba's good with the ball at his feet. But Herrera, we don't know much about Fred at the moment. Herrera never plays a forward pass. Matic is defensive. Obviously, Jones is smaller defensive. Our fullbacks never bomb on. So I think we're either going to be really surprised tonight. I mean, I'm just looking at the United players on the pitch and all they're doing is throwing balls into the air for them all to head. This is just like, Manchester United, this is, if you've got Sky Sports on at the moment, this will make you cry. They're just throwing balls in the air for everyone to head away. I mean, that is not what you want to see when you want Manchester United to win a game of football. It's I don't know. Look,
I think the telling point there, Mark, with them chucking the balls in the air is the fact that if they're going to play the three at the back, then I think we would have seen Matic there, but it wasn't. It was the back four. So I do think we're going to go as a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1.
Yeah, I think it'll be a back four. I think Pogba will step forward into probably play level with Lingard with Lukaku at the head of it. But there's not a lot of pace in that team. Pogba and Lukaku are fast when they get going. Lingard isn't fast. He's not. Lingard looks fast because he does most of his good things off the ball, so he's making runs, but he's actually not that fast. So I think we're going to win though, Marcus. I know a lot of people think we're in trouble. I've seen this before with team selections. We always seem to get the best of Spurs, and they tend to bottle it against us. And I don't think we're going to win 2 or 3-0. I don't even think there's 2 or 3 goals in that team, but I do think we're going to
win. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think it's either going to be a Mourinho masterclass here with a completely crap side, or they're just going to capitulate like they did against Brighton. It's going to go one way or the other. I don't think we're going to see a great performance as a whole. I think it's going to be a scrappy game. It's going to be a 1-0 would win it. I think there's only going to be 1 goal in the game. And I think with Smalling and Jones, I do think Tottenham will score. I really do. I can't see. I know Harry Kane last season, I can't remember whether it was home or away, he Phil Jones, he stayed on Phil Jones, didn't he, and really bullied him in that game. And I think he's going to do the same again.
The Prince has just said, Mark, if they lose, would you be Mourinho out? So I'm just going to ask Marcus that.
Do you know what? I think if it goes against him tonight, then yeah, I think I'd have to be, because I'm sick of this. There's no consistency with the team. You never see the same lineup for 3 or 4 games, so you can't get any good partnerships or good relationships going with the centre back or the midfield. And he's always blaming the young players. I mean, the 3 that missed out tonight, Lindelof, okay, he's on the bench, but Martial and Pereira, I mean, what have they done?
And they are kids. They're only 22.
Yeah, they are. It don't help them. I mean, it reminds me. Do you remember when Van Gaal did it to was it McNair?
Yeah,
after about half hour? Yeah. Very similar to that. But this is a consistent thing now, and Martial must be thinking, I've just had enough. He's got to be thinking, I've just had enough. I just want to get out of here. I can't play for him. I'm not even in the French squad. He should have been in the French squad for the World Cup, but obviously got dropped. And And yeah, if I was him, I'd be thinking something's got to give. Either he goes or I go. And I think that's probably the way Pogba's thinking as well. But
David,
I don't
sorry.
see, on about Pogba, what sort of example does that set for the rest of the players after what's happened with Pogba on social media with his agent as well?
And his
What
performance last
sort,
week.
yeah, what sort of example does that set? Mourinho, he's got no backbone whatsoever. He could quite easily put Pogba on the bench tonight and play Pereira, but he hasn't.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But what a point this was from. Let me see if I can get it back. David Birkin. Yeah, he says so many quality players not in this starting 11, and it makes me feel very sad. I mean, one thing I must just bring up because I know we'll have a few maybe people supporting Spurs, whether they're Liverpool fans, Arsenal, City, whatever. I think many United fans would have concerns, Marcus, if this was a line-up to play at home against Southampton, but we haven't really spoken about Spurs much. They are. And Andrew Southwick, who's one of the mods, says, you guys want to play a drinking game that I guarantee won't get you drunk? Take a shot for every shot on goal we have today. I like it. But, Spurs are a good team as well. This is the thing. We're all saying we're going to, I think we're going to win. But I can't deny the fact that Spurs are a good team as well. And they must be looking at this thinking, what an opportunity we have got here.
Definitely.
It would be wrong of me not to answer the question, by the way. If Mourinho was to lose this game tonight, I think I sort of agree with Marcus that because of what the team he's picked, because of the amount of changes he's made, because of the players that he's dropped completely, if we were to lose this game, I'd be thinking, how is he going to sort this out anyway? And he would be right on the brink of what I've always said. If we're 6 points or more off top 4, he's got to go. So he wouldn't go, but I'd be like, how does he come back from this? D1 only says, are we supposed to be happy if we go 1-0 up, bring on Fellaini and play 8 at the back? Says, I don't see United playing good football with this team. I don't. I hope I'm going to be very wrong, but I don't see it. But there is a game that I went to, actually. Marcus, you know the one I'm on about. Chelsea.
Did you?
Went to watch Chelsea United, and he picked a team, and everyone in the ground was like, that's a terrible team. And we schooled Chelsea, who I think won the title that year, and we beat them 2-0. So, that's why I'm always a little bit reticent to just jump on it and go, that's a shambles, we're never going to win, because I've seen him do it before. But Liam Murphy says it's looked like it's going to be a team that presses. It's got a lot of energy in the midfield, I would agree. You've got Lingard, Pogba, you've got Herrera, Herrera and Fred and Lukaku. So if they press collectively, that could be quite good. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get up to 263,000 tonight. If you are new to the channel, the United Stand, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got a Skype call-in show straight after the game for you as well. We'll have fan cams, so loads and loads going on. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a win and not another meltdown loss, because we can't afford to lose this game. What's your score prediction, Marcus? And everyone at home, Jason.
I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0. I don't see it being a cricket score, a high-scoring game. The bodies that we've got in the midfield there just seem there's no attacking oomph to it. It's very slow. I mean, Matic not the fastest, Herrera not the fastest. Not really seen Fred have a good run at the back line of either team that we played yet. So I think the pace is only going to come down that right-hand side with Lingard. So I think it's going to be very much the focus down the right. But I mean, Spurs, they've got some dangerous players. As much as they've not turned up to Old Trafford since, I think it's like 2014. I think they've not won a game at Old Trafford or even scored a goal, I think I read today. They've got some very, very dangerous players. Eriksen, Dele Alli, Harry Kane, Eric Dyer's in the midfield with Dembele. And they've actually got a decent back four as well. And I think we're going to struggle, but I think we'll nick it 1-0.
I think the thing about Spurs as well is that they're a good side that show you that you don't necessarily need to be quick to be quick. They move the ball really, really well. Also, I look at their midfield and they haven't gone 3-5-2 like I thought they did. They've gone 4-4-2 sort of, but their midfield I think they've got Dyer and Dembele and Ali and Eriksen, and that is. I'm a massive fan of Dembele. I just hope Pogba can do what he did at Wembley in the game in the FA Cup, where Pogba got the better of Dembele. But in the league game in the January, Dembele got the better of Pogba. So that's the interesting one. I don't think a draw's enough. I think a draw would be we'd just still all be, some people would be Mourinho in, some people would be Mourinho out. I think we need a definitive score, and we need a win. That's what we need. So
I think from a lot of people's views as well, perspective, the performance against Brighton, whatever performance they put in tonight, it's got to be better than that. If they put in another performance like it did against Brighton, I think that's the writing on the wall for him. It'll be pretty obvious that the players don't want to play for him anymore. They're not happy with his tactics. I mean, it's all fun and well them laughing and joking in training, but that could be because they're not doing nothing and probably thinking his training methods are really, really outdated now. So it's very hard to gauge what's going on there at the minute. Very hard. I mean, he says that his relationship with Woodward is great, never better. I don't think so. I think that's a smokescreen. The Pogba issue, the Martial issue, Pereira, what has he done? Absolutely nothing. No way deserved to get dropped, and especially to be replaced by McTominay or Fellaini on the bench. Not at all.
I'll tell you what, though, Spurs don't have many bench options. I saw some people talking about Son. He's not even in the team or the bench, so you don't need to worry about him.
No.
A draw will buy Mourinho time, says A Monica. A loss, and I think it's all over. I'd be very surprised if he got the sack, even if we got lost. Even if we lost.
The only positive thing, though, Mark, is if he does get the boot, at least someone can come in and still salvage the season. I would rather that happen at the start of the season, a few games in, than leave it until Christmas and running a 50-50 risk.
This was mentioned when Ross was on the show, and I couldn't really see what people were saying. But get your comments in, everybody here, because I'll read some of these out. If you knew that United, if you were a player or a fan or whatever, and if you knew that if we lose this game, Mourinho's gone, do you lose the game? He's definitely gone. If we lose this game, he's gone. Do you lose the game? As a player, as a fan, would you want that game to be lost? As a player, would you just think, you know what, the nightmare's over if we get rid of him? Or is it, I can't do that, I'm a professional footballer for Manchester United?
That's the thing. They're professionals.
Last week they almost did it. I think you could accuse them last week of doing it. So, what's different about this week?
Yeah, I think the only difference you can say is in front of the home crowd. The fans will get on their back if they see a performance like that at Old Trafford. The banners will be out, the signs will be out to get him out. Everything. You cannot afford to lose this. Not in a million years can he afford to lose this, because I think he will be out the door during the week. And what with the international break coming up, they might leave it until then if results don't go our way. But I would rather get this out the way early in the season, a couple of games in, knowing that you're still in the Champions League, you're still in the cup competitions, you've still got a chance to fight for the Premier League title, albeit you might be 6 points off, but there is still that chance. I'd rather that than go into Christmas thinking, okay, we're 10, 12, 15 points away out the Champions League, or and knowing that there's nothing really to fight for except the top four at the end of the season.
I can't believe we're seeing Phil Jones in a Manchester United shirt again, because every time I see Phil Jones now, I think of Paul's video at the FA Cup final, where he's just going mad about Phil Jones costing us an FA Cup final, and here he is again in a massive game playing for Manchester United. A lot of people saying they would do it, a lot of people saying they wouldn't do it. I think it's a very difficult question to answer. If we lose this game, Mourinho will still be here against Burnley, and I think we'll beat Burnley because of the Europa League. I think they'll be knackered, and I think we'll beat them. So we need to win. We've got to win.
Depends if Burnley take that seriously, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they might just be happy with the money they got for it, just for being in it already. So all depends on what squad they put out for it.
Definitely.
But, we've got to concentrate on here and now first.
Yeah. We need the 3 points, and we're very close to kick-off. We're probably about a minute or so away from it. If Fred plays like he did the first two games, he's going to get subbed off for Rashford in the 50th minute, says George Hunter. Players are the problem, says Professional. And let's just win, get behind them, and come on United, says Ewan Hacking. I agree. And United players suck. Okay. Goosebumps, says David Tapgun, and De Gea going to have to carry us, says Luke Davis. Yeah, remember that no matter how bad the players are, we have got De Gea in goal.
I mean, I've just seen here, United to win 2-0, 16-1.
God, you'd
That
never
says
get
it all.
odds like that, would you?
That says it all. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be a very tough game. And I guarantee as well, Mark, we'll see Ashley Young come on for Luke Shaw sometime throughout this game.
Yeah,
and
I think so as well.
He'll go back to the tried and trusted back four.
I'm only surprised that he didn't do that in the first place, to be honest. But
yeah.
We're about to kick off anyway.
I mean, you would have thought as well, Matic would probably not play the 90 minutes. So I would expect him to come off unless Mourinho's adamant on parking this bus and trying to keep hold of a 1-0 or a clean sheet. So there's that as well. It's very difficult to predict this one, very difficult. There's so much at stake, I think, not just for Mourinho, but for players as well.
John Sherrill says he's literally shivering. Don't waste it. And look at Jose hating his own fans. I can't see him doing that. So a lot of people saying we're going to lose, but we're off and running anyway. United have the ball for the moment. We've got 100% possession. Where are all the haters now? 100% possession from United at the moment.
And there's the first long ball.
We're in.
Yeah, we're in.
Side netting. Fred, good chance.
Good start by Fred, yeah.
I thought the keeper had made a save. It was a bit of a half chance. Long ball from Valencia, flicked on by Lingard, and then Fred gets it out. He's well wide, to be honest. It was half a chance, but a good start from United, who until Lloris touches this, have 100% possession in the first 30 seconds. No, we don't now.
What's going on here?
I think Spurs are trying to kick it out from the back. Good start, says Alex 442. Yeah, let's keep it up.
I hate to put it down of it. It's only 45 seconds.
It's only 45 seconds. Well, people said that they think that United might be might press with this lineup, and I think we probably will. There's a lot of energy in that midfield, which I suppose if Fellaini had started, he wouldn't have had that. So Woodward is smiling, says Bio20. It's part of the bloody problem. That's why.
I think if Fellaini had started, that would have just been the icing on the cake, because the midfield would have been literally static with Fellaini, Matic and Herrera. No, there's hardly any creativity in it at the minute.
So De Gea, long ball. Good flick by Lukaku. And Lingard is buzzing off Lukaku. That's working quite well, actually. He isn't fast, Lukaku. Lingard. He looks fast because he does all his stuff off the pitch, so off the ball. But here we go. It's back with Phil Jones, back to the goalkeeper again. Second time in 30 seconds.
There we go. So we've got a back three. Herrera out on the right.
Yeah. Keep your eye on that. Herrera's playing quite deep. Pogba's playing to the right of the midfield at the moment.
Yeah. I call Lingard, show your stuff. I'm going to get Lingard confused with Pereira because they got the same colour hair.
Crossed by Pogba.
Ball in. Yeah.
Looks like we are playing a 3-5-2 with Herrera as a centre-back.
That's even... he's not the tallest guy on the pitch, is he? And yet they were practising headers before the game. Come on, Lingard. Ball in. Luke Shaw. Away by Spurs. Herrera has gone to the centre now. Just left of centre. So, when we got the ball in our own half, we've definitely gone to a back three there because Phil Jones is out the far left.
Thing is, though, as I said before, the last time he did something revolutionary with Herrera was that Chelsea game, and he man-to-man marked Hazard, didn't he? So maybe that's Herrera's job in this game, is to, I don't know, but he's definitely playing as a right-sided centre-back at the moment. Man United just said, is Herrera man-marking anybody, which was my first thought. we'll see. But United have started off quite well. A lot of energy in the team, which is an improvement, and we do need to see that.
I think maybe Herrera's trying to man-mark Dele Alli. Or it could be Mora.
Yeah. Good energy from United there, though. Yeah. Kane got it, and Fred was all over him like
Great
a rash.
Tackle.
And De Gea kicks it out for a throw-in.
I think that's, something I noticed against Brighton. De Gea's distribution wasn't up to scratch. So hopefully that's better tonight.
Well, that's the one thing that Liverpool fans say is that, Alisson's obviously nowhere near as good as De Gea as a goalkeeper, but his ball distribution probably is, to be fair. But De Gea's had 5 years playing in a team that... oh, God, you see, there you go. You got Ander Herrera playing as a centre-back.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this. I feel sorry for Herrera. Since when is he as a bloody centre-back? And he nearly got in there, Lucas Moura. Weird. I just tweeted there, actually, Ander Herrera playing as a right-sided centre-back. You may as well get your coat and leave if you're Lindelof and Bailly. Eric Bailly could be playing as the right-sided centre-back, and we're playing Ander Herrera. The mind boggles. It really, really does. I just hope it works.
You could have even put Lindelof in there.
Yeah.
Spurs got the ball just inside their half.
Yeah, I think this is feeling us out in the first few minutes here. They've not been in it, and hopefully United can keep this intensity going. Adam Smith says he's come from the future. It will end up Man United 1, Spurs 4. Well, let's hope that we're not going back to that comment, thinking we have had a visitor from the future.
Yeah, I think the danger signs for United is the set plays. We know what dead ball player Trippier is. Even Eriksen as well.
Omar says, "Bravo, United. So far, so good." Yeah, I must say, apart from the bafflement of some of the selections, formation-wise, we have shown a lot of energy. But I predicted this. We're at Old Trafford. We've just been embarrassed against Brighton. You would expect a response. Otherwise, there's a big problem, isn't there? So
yeah.
We've seen a little bit of a response. We've seen a half chance. Let's see what we can do.
Do you know, I would have thought the crowd would have been on the back from the first minute, but I'm not seeing it at all.
Definitely pressing the ball, which is good to see.
Yeah. There's nothing, no threat yet, no goal threat. Apart from the Fred shot in the first few seconds, the intensity has dropped off a bit. Ball out to the right for Spurs. Luke Shaw gets it away to Fred. Is he caught? Nearly caught in possession there, Luke Shaw, cutting inside. Out to Valencia. Lukaku down the right-hand channel, outside the box.
Spurs will pick it up.
Yeah. I think they're going to be using, Spurs will be using that Lucas Moura as an outlet, get his pace going, get him to run at Jones and Smalling.
Interesting if we can keep this intensity going. Andrew Southwick says we always start the first 10 to 15 minutes hot. Shaw's getting better by the game, says L-Doctor69. I'm really pleased that Luke Shaw's starting, actually. I definitely thought that we would see Ashley Young in this game, so very pleased to see Luke Shaw starting. There are things that have bothered me a little bit, but Carrick's just run to Mourinho here. I don't know what they'll be talking about there.
See, Mourinho's already making notes in his notepad. I would have thought Carrick and McKenna would have had a bit more input, a bit more of influence on the style of play. But obviously not.
Spurs on the attack here with Moura.
Yeah.
Up against Phil Jones.
Ages of space out there.
He's just skipped past him, but Phil Jones did well to recover. So we've got loads of players back for United now. Here we go.
Comes in. Dangerous.
Golden Pogba. They look. Spurs haven't really been in this game, but every time they get near our penalty box, your heart beats a little bit. Sloppy defending, that's exactly what I was trying to say, Mozad. But Pogba there with some weird long ball, which you wouldn't expect Lingard to win, and he doesn't.
Just hoofing it out, getting it out.
High foot on Phil Jones there. I don't
I
think
I don't even think he touched him in the face, did he?
Get up, Phil.
I don't even think he caught him, Mark, to be honest.
I tell you what, we could do with a nice dodgy red card. That would help us. It was quite high. Red, send him off, ref. We need these sort of breaks. Hey, I think that's a bit high. I don't know whether he touches it.
Well, no, he's caught him on the shoulder, not his face.
Mane got sent off for that last year. Where's the red card? He got booked.
Oh, dear.
Pancatch says, get up your bottle of Phil Jones. Well, 10 minutes in, and, you know, it's not been boring from United. We actually have been quite energetic, so let's see if we can keep that up. Stray pass there. Luke Shaw, another stray pass. Bit sloppy at the moment.
I think it looks like, to me, Fred's going to be pulling the strings in the centre. He seems to be picking up the ball quite a bit, trying to play it forward. But again, Phil Jones, back to De Gea.
George Kyle says it should have been a red. We've seen him given, George. Especially when you think about the weekend we've just had in the Premier League, some really soft red cards, and you'd be like, well, you know, Lukaku there, he's got to get rid of that quicker. There's space all around him, too many touches, and then he's lost it. It's not Lukaku's strength. Get the ball and give it and run.
Luke Shaw was unmarked out on the left-hand side there. He should have switched the play straight away. Following Harry Kane, look. Yeah, it looks like he signalled Jones again as the weak point.
Man United saying we look better without Sanchez.
I think there's more effort out on that left-hand side without Sanchez, definitely. Sanchez always strikes me as one of those players, if it don't go his way, then he has a bit of a fit. Spurs with the ball, Danny Rose, Ericsson.
Bit of a mismatch there. Dyer and Fred, he's like literally about halved his size. Hi everyone, says OC Hazaravid. Hello mate. Remember, subscribe if you are new to the channel, bottom right hand corner. And
Lingard's, unlucky. Lukaku's picked it up again.
Loads of daily content on the United stand. A bit of a mistake there. He's given the foul on Herrera. Didn't think it was, but we'll take it.
I'm worried about Herrera playing down this right-hand side. It's not natural at all.
If you are joining us, Ander Herrera's playing as a right-sided centre-back in a back three. No one would have predicted that one.
Strange decision by Mourinho, that one.
I mean, and this is the thing, you know, we've got Chris Smalling bringing the ball out from the back.
Yeah.
And we already, I mean, I'm going to take a note of that for the aftermatch because it will definitely be worth talking about. Southgate didn't take Smalling to the World Cup because he can't bring the ball out from the back. Jose Mourinho has spoken loads of times about how we need to be better at bringing the ball out the back. He got Chris Jones, they're the same thing, or Phil Smalling. You know, neither of them can bring the ball out from the back, and we've gone back to it. Whereas Lindelof can, and Bailly is better than Jones and Smalling at doing it. So we've got no one who can bring the ball out from the back.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Dembele there was just playing around with Lingard.
Matt Olsen, it's either going to be a bit of tactical brilliance from Mourinho to do what he's done with Herrera, or it's going to absolutely get him a load of stick. But that sort of first 5 minutes intensity has dropped a little bit. Spurs, you know, they are the away team. Let's not forget.
That's the danger here. He's onside.
He was onside there. Good play by Jones. Yeah. They're starting to feel their way into the game a little bit more now, Spurs, which they will do. They're the away team. You know, let's see what you got.
So it almost makes, when he's playing Herrera at centre-back, it almost makes the Fosu Mensah loan completely stupid. Because if this was the way he was going to go, Fosu Mensah could have been playing out on that right-hand side now. And
Phil Jones playing offside there.
Yeah.
He's clearly on.
He's talking about the centre-backs, he can't be trusted and that. I thought Fosu Mensah did pretty well last season, the few games that he played. Didn't do particularly bad on the pre-season tour.
David says that Bay and Lindelof was shocking and deserved to be dropped. Yeah, so you'd rather Smalling and Jones. That's where your argument becomes flawed, mate. It's all right saying you want to drop two centre. To be honest, what Premier League team drops its first choice centre backs? It is idiocy. But Mourinho's been doing it for 2 years. You should never be dropping your centre backs. You shouldn't do it.
Pogba being out-muscled there by Danny Rose.
Chloe, I think Manchester United are going to win. I think it's going exactly the way I think it's going to go. I think we'll grind a 1-0 out, and I'll take it. But I think Spurs have a mental block at Old Trafford for some reason. They never beat us.
I think this could be, the way it's being played at the minute, this could be one of those cases where Spurs could nick it. They're seeing plenty of the ball.
Oh, here we go.
He's
got to score. Oh, Lukaku! He's got to score on his right foot, open goal. Shh. I tell you what, I had no confidence that Lukaku would score that. It's a short pass by Danny Rose. Lloris comes out. Oh, he's got to score. A professional footballer's got to score that.
This is the thing about Lukaku. He needs 3 or 4 chances to score one.
Not good enough, that isn't.
For once, his first touch was pretty decent.
I'm telling you now, professional footballers, you've got to score that. I like Lukaku. Tight angle, says SR. Get out. Sit down. That's not a tight angle for a footballer. It's not a tight angle. He's put curl on it. He's got a pass. It's a simple pass. Don't curl it. Why is he putting curl on that? The technique is totally wrong. The goal is wide open. Yes, it's from an angle. It's like a putt at golf. Just put a firm foot through it. Don't curl.
Yeah.
He's got to score that.
Could have maybe even. I mean, the goalie was nowhere to be seen once he took it round Lloris. Just thinking, would he have had time to put it on his left foot? Slot it home?
He should be able to put that away with his right. And that's a gift. Yeah. That's a gift. You know, at this level, you can't do that.
Oh, I can't afford to miss them. Cannot afford to miss them. Yeah.
This is the problem with Lukaku. He's getting a bit of stick in there, which I disagree with because I do like Lukaku, but he sometimes needs 3 chances to score a goal. You know, he's not Mr. Clinical, is he?
No.
And that he's got to score that. You know, he's our number 9. If that's in a Champions League final in the last minute, you're going mad at him. They're the chances that you paid the big money to score. It's not. He's got to score that. I can't defend him on that. He's got to score that goal.
Yeah, most definitely. Best chance of the game so far. He's got to put United 1-0 up with there. It is an open goal. I mean, the defender's coming back, but he's nowhere near it.
If he's in a Belgium shirt, he would have scored. I agree with Leo. Yeah, you can't. To be fair, you can't put the blame on Mourinho's tactics for that. That's just a gift, and it should be 1-0. And boy, do we, you know, you need to take. Look, in the balance of play, do we deserve to be 1-0 up? No, but this is football, and every now and again you get gifted a chance like that, and it can change a whole game. You got to take it. You've got to take it.
Well, United, they're just looking a bit static at the minute. There's not much movement.
I don't think Spurs have started off well, though, to be fair, which is good to see.
I mean, apart from the Harry Kane in behind Phil Jones about 3 minutes ago, they've not really offered much, but when they're getting the ball, they're keeping it well.
It's a lovely little ball by Lingard into Shaw.
Luke Shaw.
Need some
Come
support.
on, Lukaku. You should be busting a gut there. Get in there.
Not quite getting the good shot from Lukaku. Well, good work from Lukaku to find the space, but doesn't quite make connection. Straight at Lloris. But a good run by Luke Shaw, and Lingard picks him out. Well, you know what? If United played like this every week, I wouldn't have a problem with it because there's some real energy. Herrera just picked up a yellow card here, and I don't even know why. We don't want to see that.
Off tackle on Mora. Something about Mora there.
Yeah, probably was a yellow card.
He's got him. Yeah, definitely. So the right-sided centre back has got the yellow.
Yeah, centre back. Never thought we'd be saying that. Here's an opportunity for them to put the ball in the box though, and Smalling gets up and wins it. Fred will get that as well.
Yeah,
Spurs, we look a lot quicker than Spurs in their half, which is good to see. Good play by Lingard. Get a little bit of pace in the final third, and the crowd will respond. Good bit of energy. Valencia, waste.
No.
The ball in the box.
Pointless. Wrong option there. Go for goal. He should have been aiming that, standing it up towards the back post. And I think by the time it comes out to him here, you got Lingard going in there. Lingard signalling for it at the back.
Herrera's made the overlap, and if you just lay it into his path, he can whip a decent cross in there. I mean, that's crap by Valencia, to be honest.
Yeah. So he can't cross and he can't shoot.
There is a good point there that a few people in the live comments are on about, though, about Herrera. He is bombing forward, which obviously if you did play Lindelof, he wouldn't do that. So there is that to it.
Yeah, but good ball out there to the left by Pogba. Come on, Luke, get up.
Is he giving a free kick? I thought it was a free kick. I did. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, free kick. Yeah.
I'd agree with Kataki. Ken, we're doing good. I think we've done well. I think Spurs have been very, very poor.
Mourinho and Pochettino having a chat.
Yeah. Looks very relaxed.
Well, in contrast to last week, this is a lot better.
But this is the problem. This is the problem with United, isn't it? We know that against the big teams, we're up for it. Burnley and Watford can we do it against them? I mean, we've got to win this game first, but I don't think many United fans really thought that we wouldn't put in a performance tonight because we don't seem to have any problems raising it against those teams.
This is dangerous. He's got an overlap on the right there. Look,
well done, Phil Jones, because if he mistimes that, Spurs coming again.
He'll be on a yellow. Ericsson picking it up away by Smalling. They do look dangerous, Spurs, when they come forward.
Yeah, I've not been that impressed with Spurs, to be honest.
I mean, they've got the danger men in their side to cause a problem. I think United's got to be very wary of that when we attack. I mean, the pace of Mora now, if he goes up against Herrera, that could be a bit of a worry if Herrera dives in again.
It's funny that Danny Rose nearly gifted us the goal because I'm surprised that they've. I mean, we won't have any Spurs fans in here, but I'm really surprised that they picked Danny Rose over Ben Davies. I think Ben Davies is a very good player and he tends to play well against Manchester United, but I don't rate Danny Rose. So it didn't surprise me that he was the one who nearly gave us a goal.
Yeah. Harry Kane's having to come very deep. Oh, that's
might be a red.
Valencia's.
Might give him a red here.
I think it's a yellow. Definitely, it's got to be a yellow for that.
You look like one of those. Nah, it's not a red.
No.
I don't think it's even a yellow. Nah. There's nothing in that from Kane.
Nah, to be fair to him, he's got the ball as well. He got a little touch.
I think that's harsh on Harry Kane, to be fair. No studs, takes the ball. I've got to be honest. Don't know what people in the live comments think.
Let's have a look. Dev says should be a red. Nivan says red. John says yellow. Idris, yellow. Andrew Rossi says nasty. B and Ricky says Harry won't get a red, come on. And Grey Eagle says Phil Jones, you plonk. George Carr says give him a red. Yeah.
I wouldn't have been opposed to him getting a red, but I actually think if that had been one of our players, I would have been saying, how is that even a yellow card? He doesn't show his studs, he wins the tackle, and momentum takes him through. I mean, I don't think these referees understand the physics of football, really. You know, if you put a tackle in, you're going to follow through. You can't stop. A bit like at the farting after a curry, isn't it? Yellow card. Well, yellow. Oh, what's happened here? Dele Alli has messed it up, thank God. Good tackle by Smalling. Dele Alli bottled it there. I don't know who that pass was out the back, but thank God it was Dele Alli.
Bad decision making there. Harry Kane was just waiting for a tap-in.
It's Calamity Jones again. No, it's not. It's Matic. It was a bit of a hospital pass. I mean, he could have just passed Harry Kane in, like you say. Yeah. Bloody hell. Well, that's 2 mistakes.
Chance of peace. Very dangerous. Bad ball by Lingard there. Straight to Danny Rose. Trying to play a crossfield ball to Valencia. It just does not work.
See, I've got to be honest. I know they get called the Chuckle Brothers, Smalling and Jones, but I have always been a defender of Chris Smalling. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of his, but I've always defended him. I think the way he was treated when he got sent off against Man City a couple of years ago, and people were calling him a CUNT and all that, I thought was disgusting. And the one thing about Smalling is he is good in the air. You know, I don't think he's one of the best centre backs in the league, but I think he's a good backup centre back, Chris Smalling. That's what he is. Whereas I think Phil Jones should just wake up with a smile on his face every single day that he's got a beautiful wife and a career at Manchester United, when really he should be posting letters for Royal Mail. You know.
That's late on Pogba.
Yeah,
good turn by
I see a
Pogba.
red in this game. I think Spurs have started off badly, and
it's getting
if we can just
feisty,
get a goal here, Pogba.
All in by Fred. Actually. Lovely death floated ball in though. Into the box.
If you wanted to be really cynical, Lukaku has had 3 good chances.
Yeah.
All right, he hasn't had. They've not been as good as he's had an open goal. He's had a header there that's free and missed, and he had the pullback from Shaw where he didn't connect. So Lukaku's had 3 good chances in this game, and we're still 0-0. And that's the thing with Lukaku, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I still believe we should have bought another striker, even till this day.
We've spent a year saying, Lukaku, he's still got nearly 30 goals last year and he's living off scraps. He's probably getting 2 or 3 chances every week, every month instead of every game. Well, in this game, he's had 3 chances and he's not scored. So, you know, we can't moan about creating chances. We've created chances in this game, and there's a definite improvement in the way United have played. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net, though. That's the problem at the moment. Yeah, Gentle Fritz says, Lukaku's missed 3 chances.
Yeah, it's not as if they've been half chances either. I mean, they are good, solid chances.
I think if this game ended now, 90 minutes, and Spurs got a last-minute winner, would fans be saying Mourinho out? They might do, because we've lost the game. But actually, I'd probably be saying, you can lose any game of football, but we should have won this game. We've been more than in it, and we've had chances. We've created good chances, which is something we always moan about, but we have created the chances.
Yeah, but I think it's 2 shots, 1 shot at goal. Is it at the minute on target?
Yeah. I've not been impressed by Spurs at all.
They're almost playing as if they're set up here for a draw, you know. Yeah. I mean, the counter-attacking football it's not been that great so far. But when they do get forward, they do look dangerous. They do look dangerous because they do have the players in that front line to score. I mean, Harry Kane's deadly. Eriksen can create something out of nothing. Dele Alli
by Mora here. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's gone past 2, 3.
Tell you what,
Oh,
I don't know who that is. Phil Jones.
Phil Jones, he was looking at the ref.
It would have been a soft penalty, but he had no right to take him down.
No,
Now Lingard's got a chance. Oh, Jesse.
There we go.
Can't give it up cheaply there.
Oh, do you know what? I think Phil Jones was worried there for a couple of seconds. He did have a good look at the referee to see what he was going to do.
Jason Ryan says, "Where's this team been the past 2 years?" Well, yeah, exactly. It's
Lingard's in. No, it's Fred.
Fred, hit it. Oh, he's not
on his left.
Good play though. Good
Not
play
far
by
off.
Fred. Gets it on his left.
Yeah, on his favourite left foot again. Another good chance. Half chance. The defender standing in front of him.
Yeah.
Who's it? Toby's in front of him trying to step over. Goes out to his left foot. Lloris was scrambling for it. Just seeing the penalty back. I mean, Phil Jones, do you know what? He's pushed him, Mark.
I know.
He's got his head. He's pushed him. And you can see there by Jones's reaction, he's looking at the ref.
I think it's very, very soft, but you've got to say, has Phil Jones got any chance or intention of getting the ball?
He's got no hope.
We'll take that bit of luck. I'm just saying there though, in response to that comment, we've had 5 chances in half an hour. We're playing fast football on the break. We're tenacious. Where's this been for 2 years? Why can't we play like this? I don't think it's a penalty. I think the ref's got it right, but I think if he'd given it, he'd go. It's a bit soft, but it's Phil Jones all over. Ernest says it was a penalty. Wazza FC says it wasn't.
Do you know? I think the look that Phil Jones gives after the tackle tells a lot. I think he was definitely worried by that.
People in the live comments are saying it was. Don't let your hate for Phil Jones cloud your judgment. We're Manchester United. We don't want any dodgy penalties. You know what? If it had been given, I would have said, "You're a bloody idiot, Jones." It's not one of those stone wallers. It's soft because it's a shoulder barge, isn't it? But
yeah. Yeah, for all of Pogba's good, Pogba's had a good couple of passes here, but
he's been very quiet, Pogba, hasn't he?
He's gone quiet, yeah. He's gone quiet.
A lot of people saying not a penalty now. Or Smalling. That Lucas Moura's looked quite lively, He linked United a couple of times, wasn't he? Many years ago, we nearly got him, actually, under Sir Alex. Went to PSG for the money. United just need to keep this intensity going, though, because I think Spurs will probably think, you know what?
No.
Time to bring Pogba on, Stuart Gowdy. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, I mean, that foul there on Valencia, if that's a free kick...
It should be a yellow, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
What's that from Pogba there?
Terrible.
There's a lot of sloppy passes going on, though. I don't know whether it's because it's early season. I think we'll see better performances from everybody come September, October, because I think everyone's still not quite got into full gear. But good play from Luke Shaw. I think Shaw's been best player on the pitch for me, for United.
Yeah, he's done really well. I mean, Matic looks rusty, gives the ball away quite a few times for me, but he'll get better as the season goes on, obviously. But Herrera as the right centre-back just does not work at all. It looks so out of the ordinary.
Here we go.
Pogba.
Poor pass by Pogba.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Pogba doesn't look interested, does he? You wonder about his
attitude.
Attitude, yeah. Hit it, Matic. You've got a good left foot. Hit
he's
that.
got a good left. Yeah.
Freedom of Manchester there. Bloody hit it. Here's Luke Shaw. He'll put a decent cross in. No, he doesn't. Puts it to Fred. Pogba hit this. Oh, good shot. Lloris palms it away. Valencia. It's a goal.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Matic.
Unlucky.
Another chance. Another 2 chances there.
Yeah. I think Pogba's main point there was to just get it on target. More like a place shot.
Yeah, he didn't there was not a lot of conviction there, was there? A little bit lucky from Spurs there. So we must be up to about 7 or 8 chances for United now. This is, I can't. We can all have a moan about selections and who's been dropped and that, but if United play like this, I can't complain. It's been a bit sloppy in our chances, yeah, but we're being entertained, definitely. Cross comes in, headed away. Just need a goal.
Yeah.
I thought Pogba's shot there looked very lethargic.
Tame.
Yeah.
Very tame. No conviction in that shot whatsoever.
Ryan says we're playing sick football. Am I watching Manchester United? Says Luciano. I'm enjoying. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually enjoying this. I just hope we can get the goal that we deserve. Fred under the bar, cleared. Someone.
Nearly a bit of a goal man scramble there, but Tottenham got it away. Back the goalie, is it going? Yeah.
Being Ricky says Pogba's not 100% fit. You can see a little bit of a tummy.
Come on, Jesse, chase it down.
I'll tell you what, I think Lloris is still pissed. I don't know what he was doing there.
I was going to mention that when they were crowding him on the goal line. Maybe they're still hoping he's, seeing double or something.
Nice to see some wing play, says Jason Ryan. Yep, defo. I think Spurs have been very, very sloppy, to be honest. I mean, you think about Dele Alli when he was running through. I mean, I know Lukaku missed an open goal, but very indecisive. I think in a month's time, you probably don't see that sort of thing from some of these players. They don't look sharp. And let's not forget, I'm surprised it's not been mentioned by the media, because I was thinking about this the other day. Jose Mourinho mentioned a lot about how many players he had at the World Cup. Spurs had bloody loads, and they looked like a team a little bit like us against Brighton. We were very, very, very poor, and I think Spurs just looked a little bit poor and rusty themselves, and they had loads of players at the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a fair few players that went quite a distance as well, didn't they?
They've got a few Belgians, haven't they? And
yeah. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, it's good to see United trying to get the ball into the box from using the width. But it's just a shame that the only crosses that are getting in there are the ones from the left-hand side. Every time Valencia's trying to cross the ball from the right, it's not beating the first man.
Well, we've known about that for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, which I think then, it brings us to the fact how necessary it is for us to have an out-and-out winger inside.
Remember, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You're very, very welcome. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got a call-in show straight after the show as well. We've got fan cams. Flex and Rants are up at Old Trafford. They'll be doing the fan cams for us. Loads going on in the United stand. And I've got a funny feeling, if you are interested, La Liga transfer window closes on, I think it's Thursday. I think we'll be seeing at least one United player leaving in the next 3 or 4 days. So that's what I've been told. So keep an eye out for that. Well, it's not definitely going to happen, but there is talk. They might not be permanent moves either. Could be loans. Shaw in there, brilliant. Like a fat kid on cake. Actually, we don't.
Great tackle by Shaw. But Lukaku.
Lingard. No, don't go that way. He might have won a free kick.
Running down a blind alley there.
Yeah, he needed to.
I think that a bit of a poor layoff from Lukaku, to be honest. Not into Jesse's path. Took him out wide a bit too far.
Vader says, why Herrera and not Pereira? Well, Herrera's playing as a right-sided centre-back, so that's probably why. We should be 1-0 up. I agree. With people who are saying that in the live comments, we've had so many chances in this game. A lot of them, granted, have been half chances, but you'd want to take one of those. And I think, that's one thing Mourinho probably would say if this game was over now. Last week he's talking about defensive mistakes. This week he might be talking about missed chances. So, from one extreme to another. But we've definitely moved the ball. I've been impressed with United. They have actually entertained me, and that's what I ask. I demand we win as well. I'm a greedy customer, but at least they are entertaining and we are creating chances, and we definitely should be winning this game.
Definitely, I totally agree with the comment by Kamzab saying Spurs be a much better side second half.
Yeah, they've been bad.
This isn't a true representation of what Spurs can do.
And I suppose the worry would be a continuation of that. The worry would be that when have United played 2 good halves? We never do. So let's hope we can book that trend as well, because I think we've been good this half.
Well, normally second half we usually go defensive, don't we? Unless we have to go attacking.
George Hunter says, "Where's Valencia playing?" Well, Valencia and Shaw are sort of playing as wing backs. So you've got Jones as a left-sided centre back, Smalling in the middle, and Herrera as the right-sided centre back.
I mean, Spurs are looking to come down our left-hand side.
Where is Martial? Says Stephen Dillon. Probably sat at home playing FIFA with Bay and Pereira and Mata, not even in the squad.
That's a weird one as well. Why would you not have a creative player like Mata on the bench?
Oh, it should be 1-0.
What
was Mora doing?
Why has he gone back?
And they get a shot away. Good save by De Gea.
Dangerous.
See, I was going to say that, Marcus. You've said that. You can't see Spurs not scoring with Jones and Smalling playing. And to be honest, that was the double whammy. Kane beating Smalling in the air, Jones losing Mora. But they messed it up.
Yeah, and then you got Ericsson there just sat just on the edge of the D looking for the follow-ups. But again, another danger sign. United, you've got to be careful about this. Thankfully we've not seen any set pieces from Spurs come into our box yet. But I think Mourinho will be telling them that at half time, like, don't concede any silly free kicks out there, because you know the damage that they can do, and you know what good delivery Trippier's got as well.
Infinity 3 says, where's Herrera playing? He's playing as a right-sided centre-back in a back three, with Valencia and Shaw as the full-backs, sort of wing-backs. There we go. Mora away from Herrera.
Yeah.
He's been impressive, Mora. Apart from that pass. He gets away from out. If he gets the ball into feet, he just skips away from Herrera, Jones, Smalling.
Yeah, that lad's got some pace on him. And he knows now, with Herrera being on a yellow card, Herrera can't afford to dive in on him.
Pogba, just get rid of it there.
Yeah.
That's crap by Pogba. What is he doing there?
Come on.
That is disgraceful. Lazy. I don't think he looks interested.
He's minding at Valencia there. Valencia's saying to him, well, yeah, what am I supposed to do when I've got someone in front of me? What? Pathetic. Guy shouldn't even been bloody starting in the first place. When you look at the players that have been dropped, Ericsson's round the back.
By Herrera.
Oh.
See, Spurs are starting to come into this now.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to leave you to it for Marcus. I'm just Jimmy Riddle.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So that was a great ball in there from, I think it was Trippier. Yeah, Trippier ran to the back, 40-yard pass across the field. Dele Alli at the back post. Great tackle by Herrera. Cock muncher, what a name. Brilliant, Herrera. So, super chat from Stephen Dillon. Thanks for that. It says Martial over Herrera in that position all day long. Martial should be in the team, to be fair. So should Pereira. Fellaini, we need you, says Reese. Robert Hanlon, what did I miss? Nothing yet, still 0-0. Good entertaining game so far, though. Positive. Lucas, he's disappeared. He has, yeah. Hart, send the ball. Yeah. Ian Ricky, Herrera is everywhere. He's not done too bad, actually. He's not done too bad, but I mean, Martial, he should be in the squad. He should be, even if he's on the bench, man. I mean, poor, absolutely diabolical there by Fred. I mean, albeit it's on his weak foot, but he's in the box, couple of step overs, tries to whip it across, and it goes out for a goal kick. Ball from Fred, but never mind, we go again. Ed says it's frustrating to watch. It's not that bad. Not that bad, Ed. Pogba is gash-tastic, as I read. Cole, I'm impressed with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has been very good. He's done very well. He's gone to take a leap, George.
I'm back now.
Yeah, okay.
You read the super chat? I'm sure I thought so.
Yes, I did, mate, but this Read it out again.
Oh,
Dele Alli.
God.
Oh, again, dangerous Dele Alli. Lets it run through his legs in the area. Mora, very unlucky.
Jack Coleman with a good point. The one time we attack, we don't play Martial.
I mean, this is the type of game where you think a bit of pace on the wing, instead of having to rely on Lingard down this right-hand side, a bit of pace out on the left there would have been ideal.
Oh, you're doing perfect. Absolutely perfect for a game like this. Good point by Jack.
You need to give Trippier something to think about. And no one's going down that left-hand side apart from Luke Shaw. Slip through James's legs. Yeah, that's right, David. Yeah. A lot of praise for Luke Shaw in the comments, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to read some tweets out in a minute when we hit half time, because it's not all just about you, YouTube. You are the United Stand Army, of course, but we are quite big on Twitter. And I did put a tweet out there. I want to get some of your comments as well. Does Pogba look disinterested? I think it would be a divisive opinion, really, because I just think he doesn't look 100%, whether it's fitness or whatever. He doesn't look 100% in it. Spurs on the attack here. Where's the midfield?
Where's Matic? Too slow getting back. Oh, Dele Alli still got it.
See, some of the even Spurs are a bit like us.
Yeah,
Just a yard off the pace. Now we've got a break here, Lukaku. Find a pass. Rubbish.
I don't think. This ain't going nowhere. Yeah.
Everybody just seems to. There's some good bits and then there's some bad bits.
So we've got 1 minute extra time.
Come on, let's get a goal in the first half, because we never know whether we're going to play well in the second half. Poor by Pogba again. Play the simple pass to Shaw. There we go.
I'm losing patience with him.
Pogba.
Losing patience, yeah.
Maybe he's one of those players who are just like, this is my chance to get rid of Mourinho.
But that's the type of attitude that you don't want at the club.
You don't.
I mean, you don't. Was it you say like mercenaries, wasn't it? Mercenaries like Chelsea players.
Yeah.
When they're down tools.
Well, there we go. Half time it is, and we'll talk about the half first, obviously. Look, Manchester United got to win this game. We've got to win this game. I think if this ended now and it was 0-0, I'd be like, well, yeah, we played quite well. It was definitely entertaining, but you've got to win this game. A point's no good for us. Spurs are a competitor for top four with Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. You've got to win your home games against these sort of teams. And yes, I think we can labour under this notion of truth that this is a good performance from United. We've created lots of chances. We've been fast. We've been tenacious. I've enjoyed it. You know, for the first time in a long time, I've enjoyed Manchester United playing. We've got to win the bloody game. Got to win the game. And the chances within that game were absolutely numerous. And Lukaku, none more than anybody. But definitely very pleased with what we've seen from United. And I think what I would say, Marcus, as well, is where's this been for 2 years? Why, if we can do that, why can't we do? Why have we not done it more? Because it's been fast, it's been tenacious, we've created chances. Why have we not done it more?
I think the answer to that is the fact that I think Mourinho knows now that he's under pressure and it's time to deliver. So I think he's going. I don't think we'll play this way when we're away from home. Not a chance. I think it'll be the normal park the bus, play 4 or 5 at the back, you know, and hopefully we nick it 1-0 sort of thing. But this is what we should be playing at Old Trafford. Could do with a little bit more enthusiasm, I suppose is the word, from certain individuals. But I mean, overall, it is positive. I mean, anything from last week is a positive. Last week was absolutely dreadful, and it wasn't just like 1 or 2 players to blame. That was the whole team. But this time around, it's going quite well. I think Spurs are a tough nut to crack. They are a decent side. No matter, you know, they've got some decent players. They're dangerous, and they have got in behind us a couple of times. And United have got to be wary of that. They've got to. It's going to be hard to commit so many men forward in the second half when Pochettino really should be giving them all a kick up the backside because they weren't themselves in the first half, yet they still created a couple of decent chances.
Yeah, well, just looking at some of the stats here. 10 shots for Manchester United to Spurs' 2. I don't really like possession stats, but 53% for us to 47% for Tottenham. But, I mean, that is, you've got to applaud that. I can't say that enough. Manchester United 10 shots to Spurs' 2, and we've been very right to be very critical about Manchester United and the way that we play football and the lack of chances we created. But if you were watching that game tonight, you would be entertained. That's been an entertaining game from United. Hussy Pussy says, support your team. You are supporters. They are giving 100%. That's all you can ask from a player. I don't like the demand because there's a backstory and people can make up their own minds. But I do agree with you that I personally would say I'm never going to, if they play badly and they lose, like last week, they deserve the criticism. But can I sit here and say that they deserve criticism at the moment? I don't think teams like Man City and Liverpool will be terrified of what they've seen from United tonight. And I certainly think that, Jones and Smalling are going to cost you a lot more goals than they're going to stop. But tonight is about winning this game, and at the moment we're halfway there. I've been entertained. I wish Lukaku could score open goals, but apart from that, I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by it, and I just hope. One thing we did say for those joining us at half time is, when was the last time United played two halves? Well, we've just had a good first half, but we've still switched off a couple of times and allowed Spurs in. Heath Farley says, I'm super impressed by Shaw over Pogba's antics. Good point. I want to bring that in. Let me just. I'm going to take some of your comments. So the question was, do you think that Pogba looks interested in this game? Why is he playing so poor? People on Twitter, a little off the pace, nothing new. His body language to that of Herrera, Shaw and Lingard is ridiculous. Pogba is not in the team. He's an individual in the pitch. Everyone else playing for the team. Would rather play Fellaini, at least he gives 100%. Looks tired and listless. Perception is everything. He's played some great passes, won some great challenges and will score. He is, and he has been this is all the time at Manchester United. All he cares about is fun. He's not playing for the badge. So a few people there. What do you think? That was off Twitter. What are you thinking in the live comments about Paul Pogba's performance? Ernest Tabari says, Lukaku and Matic have been very poor. Almost gifted them a goal. Why do we always have to nitpick Pogba's game and not others? I think that's a fair point, Ernest. I think Matic, to me, Marcus, just, we must remember that he's not fit. It's his first game of the season and he looks a bit rusty like a lot of Spurs players do. Lukaku, for me, I like Lukaku, but it's interesting. We always defend Lukaku and say he's not getting the chances, he's living off scraps. Today he's had 3 really good chances and he's scored none.
Yeah. I think when you look at it, when you look at the bigger picture, people take everything into account. They take the reputation, the price tag, what they should bring to the team. I mean, Lukaku is one of the best all-round number 9s, I think, in England, especially in the Premier League. But he lacks that. He lacks that finishing. He needs, as we said in the first half, he needs 3 or 4 chances to score 1. But as a centre forward, he does the right things. It's just his finishing costs us. And in terms of Pogba, I was never a lover of the guy. I don't believe he should have come back in the first place. I know he wanted to go. There was talk of him about going to Real Madrid at the time, and a lot of stories out in the press that he came for the money. We overpaid for him, which we did do at the time. We outbid Madrid for him. But I just think his attitude and what he brings to the club just does not suit Manchester United at all, and it doesn't suit Mourinho. There's just too much around him. There's too much hype. It's like a circus that comes with him, with his emojis and his dancing, and that's all fine and well if you're winning things and playing well. But I mean, it's
Lukaku chance just very quickly.
I'm just saying it again.
It's easy. It's the way he does it. Why with your right foot are you putting curl on that? When you curl it, you make the angle even harder. Just pass it. It's
he could have even put a touch into the goalie area and put it on his left foot. He had enough time there. But I just think what Pogba brings to the club is just not what Manchester United needs. And if he's going to sit behind his mouthpiece of an agent, then it shows to me what a coward he is.
Yeah, I think, you look at what Paul Pogba is, and for me, he is one of the best midfielders in the world, and we just don't see it in a United shirt, and that was disappointing. Another disappointing half.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy's got talent. Of course he is. He played at Juventus. He's won a lot of trophies. At Juventus. He's linked to the big clubs. But I just think he's not cut out for the Premier League. I think the Premier League is too fast paced for him. He may undoubtedly become a Ballon d'Or winner or world class midfielder. I just don't see it. I don't see him getting to that level at Manchester United. I certainly don't see him getting to that level playing in the Premier League. When you look at other midfielders in other teams, mainly De Bruyne, I would say, I don't think he's anywhere near that class myself. But opinions vary. I like players at United who are willing to, work and graft and play for the badge. He just seems to be more interested in money and dancing for my liking.
A few people talking about the penalty for Spurs, but first of all, let me just read this super chat from Zachary Purvis. He says, Pogba seems like he may be mentally exhausted. He had a short holiday and it's showing. I would sit him out for a game or two and let him rest. Interesting theory there. The Jones penalty, if it was given, I would have said I can see why, but I still can see why it wasn't given, if that makes sense. I suppose the concern with this game is that if the longer it goes on without United scoring, if you're Spurs, you must be thinking, we'll get a chance. We score and we win. We have played a lot better than we have done in a long time. We've created more chances than we have done in a long time, but we're not. Spurs will be thinking, well, we've not been that good, but if we can just 0-0, I'll fancy our chances against Smalling and Jones.
The thing is, as well, I mean, when you say it like that, if you think that Tottenham's number 9 and number 9, I think Harry Kane is a hell of a lot deadlier than Lukaku, and I think if any forward is going to get a goal in this, I think it's going to be Harry Kane. I really do, because he's a guy he's a natural goal scorer for me, whereas Lukaku isn't. If that makes sense. It's something from Lukaku. Yeah, he's got to, exactly. I mean, if that's Harry Kane, I think that gets put away. But it's.
I think it's Harry Potter that gets put away. It's just, I know some people are saying the angle's tough, but it's the way he hits it. He's put curl on it. The technique is all wrong. Just put your foot through it. Don't the angle. There's a lot of goal there. I know it's slightly to the side. But there's a lot of goal there. But the minute you put curl on it, you're making the goal smaller because you're curling it. So the curl will make the shot harder. Just put your foot through it. There's no technique.
Unless he puts, I mean, seeing as it's on his right foot, unless he strikes the ball with the outside of his right foot, there's no way that's going in. If he's hitting that from the inside of his right, it's only going to curl away from the goal.
Yeah, it's a pass. Don't put curl on it, just
pass
it.
Poke it in, didn't you?
Yeah.
Toe poke it in or toe punt it in or take a touch, run towards the goalie area, the 6-yard area, and then put it in with your left to make sure. He had a couple of chances, but he fluffed it.
Red Squirrel says, here we go, crying Manx should have had a penalty. Watch the game, mate, before you start making a prat of yourself in the live comments. It was a penalty for Spurs, not us. We're not claiming any penalties at all. We've been the better team, says Harry. We have. United need to sign a striker in January. We won't. Kyle XA, we won't be doing that. He loves Lukaku. I agree with you, Rin Chawala. I think Luke Shaw's been fantastic. And the first half has been entertaining but low on quality, says Grey Eagle. The past performances have been so poor that we get fooled in believing that we are playing well. We're just running more but no conviction. I think that's a very, very, very good comment, actually. I think the quality of football has been a little bit championship. It's been fast, but it's broken down a lot. I mean, Spurs have been the same as us. There's been some sloppy passing, and it has been quite a quick game, but it has been bereft of quality, which is probably why it's 0-0. But I think you're right, because we don't see that for United. We are probably like, wow, it's and I've got to be positive about that. You can't not be. Jared Pesserman says Marcus is dead on about Pogba. That agent is a shitbag. There you go. Say it how it is, Jared. And Bjorn Lundberg says one thing is clear: Mourinho hasn't lost the locker room. The players responded to his tactics and game plan. Mourinho is on fire. Don't believe the papers. Well, maybe it's not Mourinho's tactics. We've not seen them for 2 years. We've never seen this for 2 years. Maybe it's not Mourinho's tactics.
Yeah, I
don't know. We don't know what's going on, do we? But what I would say is I don't want to be sat here at full time saying, well, that was a good performance. We're not bloody Stoke. You know, we're not Everton. A good performance isn't something we go home with and go, yeah, points on the table. We've got to win this game. I don't want to be at the end going, we should have won this game. Go and win the bloody game. Otherwise, we may as well have just sat back and got Fellaini on and parked the bus and got a free kick and a one off his head. We got to win the game. It's not just about playing good football. That's all well and good. We've got to win this game. We need the game. Mats Ugarard says, now we see why we should have signed a centre-back. Yeah, maybe. Jamie Wanchowicz says, still not the best, but definitely the best we've seen this season. Finally seeing some heart. Love watching Shaw streak down the side. I don't think he means take his clothes off. I mean,
streaking.
He means getting up and down the left-hand side. Don Snaps, to be fair, we've played 3-5-2 every pre-season since Jose got here. It's the first time we've played 3-5-2 at Old Trafford. We normally use it away from home, but I think 3-5-2 is the best formation United play. I think it suits us really, really well.
Yeah, I think as well in terms of that comment about the tactics. We were so used to playing one style under Sir Alex, which was just attack, whether it was home or away. Sometimes he chuck in like the Phil Nevilles and the Nicky Butts, in the midfield to counteract what, say, Arsenal would do or what Liverpool would do. But the majority of the time, it was all attacking football, especially at Old Trafford. Whereas Mourinho, I think he sets his teams up and his tactics dependent on the opponent. And I think this is where the inconsistency comes in, because no one knows who's going to be playing against, like, say, Burnley next time round. No one knows who they were going to be playing, who was playing against Tottenham. And I think he's tinkering around with the team way too much. His first season at Chelsea, I don't think he messed about with it an awful lot. He near enough had the same 11 week in, week out. Even second time round when he was at Chelsea, didn't do an awful lot changing the squad up. But I mean, with United, ever since he's come in, no one's safe in that team. No one's got a permanent spot in that team whatsoever.
You make one mistake and you're out, and you're not just out. You're not even in the matchday squad. It's
exactly, and that's not the players' fault. I mean, it's no wonder the players lose confidence and they've got no relationship with anyone else. Their centre back partner or whatever. I mean, De Gea must be going nuts, thinking, Christ, who am I going to have in front of me this week?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because De Gea really is the only first person on the team sheet.
Sam Hodgson says, if you could, would you swap Pogba for Kante? No, because Kante's not Pogba, is he? I mean, Pogba's meant to be a creative force. Kante's he's a destroyer, really, isn't he? Midfield destroyer. So anyway, we're up and running with the second half. Come on, let's see if we can get a result. We need to get a result. I suppose the problem is, can United put the ball in the back of the net? Can United play two good halves? I mean, that would be encouraging. That's brilliant by Luke Shaw.
Right by Luke Shaw, gone round
so good. So good.
I mean,
Pogba. That was better. Absolutely
closer.
Brilliant by Luke Shaw, that was.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Mourinho's had us on YouTube in the dressing room slating him.
Yeah, get a bit of this, Pogba. They're saying you don't care. Oh, I'm trying. I really am trying. I'll try harder. It's a bit Irish.
To be honest, mate, looking at the replay, it's a fair distance wide, but
it got us going a little bit. But
it's
good
an
start
effort,
from United again. Yeah. We need to have two good halves.
But so again, United starting the second half the way we started the first half, I think. Do you know what? Right, even the channel that the game's on, they lined us up as a 4-3-3 before we kicked off. Now at half time, they're lining us up as a 5-2. That was risky. Mora nearly got on the end of that one.
cross comes in, you think De Gea's just going to scoop it up, and for some reason it squirms out of him. I don't know what Matic was doing there. He seemed to gamble on a pass that was never there, and it gave Dele Alli a lot of room. Cross comes in, and to be fair to De Gea, it wasn't easy to deal with. He had to just palm it up.
Bounced just in front of him.
Yeah, it wasn't as close as I thought it was for him to get 2 hands on it. He actually De Gea did quite well there.
Yeah, bounced just in front of him, so got a strong left hand to it, but Mora nearly got it in.
Come on, United, let's get the goal we deserve. Yeah. We deserve the goal in this game. Go on, Lingard.
There we go. It's in. No.
It should have died then.
I reckon he would have given the referee something to think about if he'd have gone down there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think there's if he takes a lovely play by Fred. Yeah, if he took a tumble there, I reckon. Too honest, Jesse. Too honest. Good start from United, says Glenn. Yeah, agree. It is a good start.
Oh yeah, United started well.
We don't
throw in. No, I don't think Mourinho could take a draw and say it could be great flick by Lukaku, Pogba. No, he ain't getting that.
Well, we started the second half as we played the first, which is good. Just got to be careful of Spurs on the break.
Look at the space Eriksen's got here. Look. It's took the left back. Yeah.
Just play the pass. That's it.
Get it away. There we go. Herrera again. Herrera's out on the left-hand side now, next to Phil Jones.
I think Spurs have been very sloppy, which I think that's really helped us.
So I think the Spurs were quicker in getting the ball forward.
Who's got Eriksen here? He's got loads of time.
Matic, come on, Matic.
Ooh, good block by Smalling. Who's marking Dele Alli there on the edge of the box?
Yeah.
3 centre-backs. Pick up your men. Look, he's got so much space there. That's disgraceful.
Matic there is just jogging to get with Eriksen. He should be getting there a lot quicker than that to close him down.
Absolute let off that. Crap defending. This is the problem. We've played well, but I've got no faith in Jones, Smalling and Herrera. For different reasons.
Goal!
Goal! For bloody Harry Kane. What is going on at Manchester United? Where's the defence there? Free header. I tell you what, that was slow motion. I could have had a poo and come back. What are we doing there? What are we doing? It's like a slow motion goal.
Why is that guy unmarked at the back post?
It's bloody... No, it's not. It's Phil Jones. It's Phil Jones.
He's let him run.
It's Phil Jones. It's Phil Jones again. Phil bloody Calamity Jones. What's he doing? What's he doing? He's doing his Tesco shop. Mark him. What are you doing? Oh, it's rubbish. That's pub football. That is absolute rubbish.
He's jumped. You know what? He's got old. Right, he can't even. He's got hold of the guy, so he should know roughly where he is, right? And when that ball's coming, he's looking behind him. No eye.
Phil Jones again.
Whatsoever. Absolute joker of a defender, that guy. Absolute joker. Lukaku's in here.
I thought Lukaku'd scored then.
Lloris gets it away. Danny Rose. Mourinho has got 40 minutes now. I think this is probably to save his career at Manchester United. I mean, it's a risk putting them two, Smalling and Jones, on the team sheet in the first place, but that has just proved him.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? You drop Bailly and Lindelof because they make defensive mistakes, but then you play Phil Jones. I mean, let's be honest with you. It's like it's like cutting your nose off to spite your face, isn't it? It really is. You're not replacing two decent centre backs with prime Baresi, are you? It's just always going to cost you. And now we're getting torn apart because the heads all drop. But Spurs have done nothing to get back in this game. 2-0! God! What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? 2-0? How are we 2-0 down? How is this happening? We've absolutely dominated the first half, and within 6 minutes, we're 2-0 down.
And this is it.
Chocolate fireguard defence.
We spoke about this. It's a topsy-turvy half we get. And, do you know what now? You know what's going to happen now? Rashford and Marine and Fellaini, come on now. This is...
Well, we're playing offside. Smalling's playing offside and Herrera's 10 yards behind him. Oh, God. Never, ever pick... It's so frustrating because we're just Manchester United fans and we know that Jones and Smalling are going to cost us goals and they've just cost us 2 in 3 minutes.
Sorry now, but... sorry about the language, but I'm sick of this. I'm sick to death of this guy in charge of the club now. We played decent football in the first half, the best we've seen for a long, long time, and now they've just gone to pot. They've gone to pot again. What the hell has he said to them at half time?
You know what, Marcus? I don't even think it's that. I'm going to be totally this. You know what this is? This is the formation's great. The approach is fantastic. The problem is, if you've got a defence that's like that, they're going to concede goals. You said it yourself. You're going to concede goals because it doesn't... United have played quite well. United have created chances. But if you pick that defence, you're going to concede goals. And that is what I'm at. A lot of people were talking about this before the game. It's one thing dropping Bailly and Lindelof because they had a bad game against Brighton. But when you replace them with Jones and Smalling... What are you doing? What are you doing? It makes now they're coming forward again here. This could be 3.
Alex 3. Look, where is Jones?
God, this is absolutely pub football at the back. How has he picked this team? How has he done it? This is all on Jose because his defence is absolutely diabolical.
I mean, what basis has he picked this team on? I mean, especially the back line. I mean, Phil Jones, he's looking injured now. He's limping. What a pathetic, feeble...
Who's limping?
Feeble. Phil Jones.
Oh, yeah, he will. He'll get out of Dodge.
He'll want to get out, yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All that good work, everything done, spot on, and...
Right. Sanchez is coming on.
Herrera's coming off now because he's going to have to attack. He's finished. Mourinho's finished. He's gone, isn't he? Let's be honest.
What's he doing here? What's Herrera still on the field? I think he's looking at Phil Jones. Yeah. I think that's it. I can't see any way back for him. I really can't. I mean, we was talking... Well, I said about Harry Kane. He's more deadly than Lukaku. And, one chance he's had the whole game and he's put it in. That is something that United lack. A complete clinical... Do you remember the days of Van Nistelrooy? Something like that now. That's what we want.
Well, you know what? I feel absolutely sick because we have played quite well. But to be honest with you, I applaud Spurs because they've been clinical. Let's bring it back as well. Lukaku's had chances, we've had chances, we didn't take them. But I cannot... You said this, Marcus, yourself. If you've got that defence, we're not keeping a clean sheet. No. And that's what it is, isn't it? Why would anyone trust Jose with buying new centre-backs when he benches his own signings as by 2-0? Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. But this is... I mean, we shouldn't be 2-0 down. This is not a 2-0 Spurs game. It isn't. We've had chances, but... I'm not stunned. I mean, Lindelof's coming on now. He's bringing Lindelof on.
I bet this is for Jones. I bet you.
Well, this is going to be the cycle of Jones perfectly. Play him in a game, gift a goal, go off injured. Job done.
Yeah.
The Phil Jones story in a nutshell.
So he don't take the blame for it.
Yeah, do the damage and get out. And pick up your wages tomorrow. It's Tuesday. Your money will be in the bank. How is he even a professional footballer? He's a joke. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm sure you're a really nice man, but you're playing for the club I support, who we invest and spend a lot of money on. You should not even be a professional footballer. You're crap. I'm sorry, he is. But I tell you what, it's not even Jones's fault. Why is Mourinho still picking him? Score a goal. Come on, Pogba.
I've got to get one back in the next 10 minutes.
We got to. Well, the thing is, we shouldn't be 2-0 down.
No. Oh, Valencia's in late there.
Jose out yet, Marks, Stephen Dillett. Mate, the game's not gone. The game isn't gone. Oh, here we go. It is Phil Jones as well.
Yeah.
Typical Jones. Screw the game up, then go off injured.
Yeah. Disgrace. Disgrace to the club. Don't act all fucking hurt and whatnot as you're coming off the pitch. Disgrace. Valencia got a booking for that. 2 goals in 3 minutes it was.
Oh, look at him clutching his bloody hamstring.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. I said 2 years ago, people wouldn't have it. I would rather keep Jones. I'd like to keep Jones. He's always injured as well. What? You can't have a centre-back partnership with somebody who's always going to be injured. Calamity Jones. Absolutely. I can't understand. I said this at the start of the game. He cost us the FA Cup final because he's rubbish. And here he is playing in a massive game and he cost us that first goal.
Yeah. Fellaini's coming on there.
Oh, God.
He's signalling to someone. You know
it will be. It won't be Rashford, will it? It'll be bloody Fellaini. We're going long ball. We're going long ball.
Half hour to go. This guy. Do you know what?
I find myself confused though, because to be honest, I've never been so entertained by United in that first. Oh, it is Fellaini as well.
Yeah.
Fellaini coming on now.
The guy is so lost in his ways, and to be honest, I think he's out of his depth now. I think he thought in his mind he was coming into this job. The first season was okay with the Europa League and a League Cup and Community Shield. Second season, you can say it was progress because we came second, but people would argue that the teams below us were crap and didn't really fulfil their potential.
He's got to go. It's for Fred as well. It's for Fred as well.
You know, I mean, Woodward's here. Don't look too happy. But I think, there's an important decision to be made now. If we lose this game, do they stick or twist now? And I think if they stick with him, it's a very, very bad decision. Very bad decision. I mean, there's candidates out there. You know, you got Zidane, Laurent Blanc's been mentioned by a few. I'd take a gamble with one of them. I really would.
I'm at. The thing is, it's difficult because this is probably one of the better performances I've seen from United, and people who don't support United probably laughing their head off. We don't play good football. We don't play exciting football. We don't create chances, and in that first half, we pretty much ticked all three. But you can be positive about that. But the thing is, he changed our 2 centre backs last week.
Here we go.
He changed. Well, he's actually Matic for Fellaini, to be fair. He changed our 2 centre-backs last week for Jones and Smalling. Any United fan will tell you that is just ridiculous to do that. And that's on the manager. Not getting Alderweireld to form a proper centre-back partnership is biting us back. Phil Jones is a solid centre-back, Ray Charles. Asking again, would you take loss to get him out now? Says Karan Bansal. It's a dead question because we're going to lose this game of football. Unless we do something absolutely amazing, we're going to lose this game of football. Unless Lingard can score. Oh, Jesse!
No, he's missed it. Down for a corner.
Oh, Lukaku, don't do that. I hate it when Lukaku does that. Starts clapping the crowd and going on. You've missed the sitter, mate. You missed the sitter. Stop trying to get the crowd up. You're the one who's missed the bloody chances. You're mugging us off. Oh, clap the crowd and you'll love me. Put the ball in the back of the net. Come on, United. Cross. Sanchez. Palmed away by Lloris. Come on, we just got to get something out of this game. Because I tell you what,
to go for it
the
now.
board aren't going to sack Mourinho. Don't you for 1 minute think they're sacking him if we lose this game. It's not happening.
United now, they've got Fellaini's won the ball there, but the only option they've got now is to attack. I mean, poor ball by Fred out the Pogba there, but they've got to go. If they've got any faith in the manager, they've got to go for it. These players have got to repay his faith somehow. Pogba again, he's not done nothing in the second half. He really hasn't. I mean, Mourinho, he could have took Phil Jones off, gone to a back four and chucked Rashford on.
Sanchez, anyway. Probably should have started the game, to be honest, Sanchez. Well, we've got back into games before with Fellaini in the team, so maybe we can do it again. But we're going to just have to chuck long balls into the box, aren't we?
Yeah, this is what it is. Everything's going to be aimed towards Fellaini now. And
Joseph Young says it's a circus for Pogba and Lukaku.
I think it's a classic example of too much money, thinking, and then the players thinking they've made it. I mean, Fellaini's there out in the left wing, getting a ball in with his left boot. I've got to say, that weren't a bad ball in either.
Yeah, on the balance of play, we look dangerous. We have looked dangerous all game. Just defensively stupid. We've cost ourselves 2 goals. The thing, that's the infuriating thing is we've not actually played bad. We've just defended badly again. It's a foul here on Pogba.
Yeah, he's given it. Yeah. I thought he'd let play go on there for a couple of seconds, but he's pulled it up.
I thought it was. For a minute, I thought, was it in the penalty box? Nowhere near.
And a couple of people saying, why is Fellaini on the pitch? What choice have we got? Just over 25 minutes to go.
Well, you know what? Knowing United, we'll probably get a point from this, and then it will be like, oh, it's not too bad. We needed to win tonight, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I still think we can get back into it. I still thought we could get back into it against Brighton, though, so I'm not, I am wrong. But I think we can get back into this. I think we've played quite well, but we should be winning this game. We should have won this game. Just defensively, Jose changes the defence too much. I've said it so many times. Consistency. He's so haphazard with the team. Herrera, Smalling and Jones never played together. And you play them in a game like this, and lo and behold, we concede 2 goals because of defensive errors.
Dangerous ball in by Fred there. Lindelof at the back post. It's side netting. Just a little bit too high, I think. Yeah. Well, the thing now is our midfield's slower than what it was before as well.
Well, Joseph Young again says the irony of our team is we're a defence-focused on a team that can't defend, which is, you know. And Martin Spellman says, don't know if you know this, Mark, but you're a dead ringer for Woodward. Come off it, mate. He's about 60 and bald, and a former ginger. You know, I'm none of those things. So yeah, you're wrong. But I tell you what, if I was Woodward, I'd be making a decision tonight. If it stays like the same, I think you've got to.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Another mistake.
Oh, Lindelof. De Gea.
Should have been. I don't know why Dele Alli didn't go down there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't go down there.
Should have been 3.
If Dele Alli goes down there, De Gea gets sent off as well. Lindelof with a sloppy pass to the back. I don't know why Dele Alli didn't go down. He should have gone down. I'm surprised. Fair play to him. Skips past De Gea. De Gea leaves the foot out. It connects with the... Well, no, it would have been a dive, actually. I don't think De Gea did actually make any connection. But a great save by De Gea. Should be 3-0.
But even then, I mean, Lindelof's there with his arms open thinking... Mourinho, he just... He's lost. He's gone. I think he's got to go. He just looks exhausted.
Oh, and Kane's just missed an open goal on the back post. Every time they attack, they look like they're going to score.
Yeah. Lindelof, nowhere next to Harry Kane, falling backwards. Free header at the back post, should have gone in.
You can be critical of Phil Jones and Smalling, but I don't know what Lindelof's just been doing in the last couple of minutes. Atrocious defending. I think we've used all 3 subs as well, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
So can't even put Rashford on.
So we've had 15 attempts to Tottenham's 7. And we've had 3 on target to Tottenham's 4.
Well, we will be taking your calls. full time. Skype Goldbridge, so do call in and have your say. I'm going to do my match reaction a little bit later tonight because I just want to take your call straight away. But there's still time. But the thing is, we're not winning this game now, are we? And for me, that was what today was all about. We had to win this game. I mean, maybe we can produce some amazing comeback and everyone would say, yeah, that's what it's all about. But we've got a manager who's picking people like Phil Jones when he's got other fit centre-backs. You're giving... It's not rocket science. If you play Phil Jones, you're probably going to give a team at least one goal. It should almost be a word in the dictionary. Phil Jones... guaranteed goal for your team. He does it all the time. He cost us so many points last season. Matt Zugerard, now you see why we should have signed the new centre-back. I disagree. He's had enough centre-backs at this club to sort them out. Mourinho's a defensive coach. Why do we need to sign another centre-back? Bailly, Rojo, Lindelof, Smalling, Jones, if you can't get at least one of them to play week in, week out. He chose Lindelof. He chose Bailly. We've got to get a goal. Get a goal.
Not even Plan B's working at this. Plan B's normally hoof it up to Fellaini, isn't it? But they're not even doing that.
Good play by Shaw. Fellaini into Sanchez. Just chipping in the box. Everyone's there at the moment.
Come on. Don't turn around.
Put the ball in the box, Sanchez. It's typical Sanchez, that. Trying to do it all on his own. There's people in the box. Everyone's in the box. Just put the ball in the box.
This team, it looks to me, it's out of ideas. Out of ideas.
I think the disappointing thing for me is that we played really well in the first half and we had an identity. We go 2-0 down and Mourinho panics and chucks Fellaini on and goes hoofball. Why not stick? We created 10 chances in the first half. Why not stick with it? Spurs were in trouble. Stick with what we were doing. Keep confidence in what you're doing and create your chances. This is what Liverpool or City or even Spurs do. You go 2-0 down, but you stick to what you believe in. Mourinho goes 2-0 down and we were playing well. And he goes hoofball. And I'm like, why? Here we go, Sanchez, come on. He's going to hit that. He's going to hit it. He's going to hit it.
Too slow.
Still got it.
I mean, even with the players that have come on here, Lukaku's gone out on the wide right now. He should be going straight through the middle. We shouldn't have the smallest player on the pitch playing as our main number 9. I mean, even Fellaini's gone out to the left. You want your tall boys in the box so you can get the ball up to them.
Pogba.
What is that? But this, I think this, it needs...
You ain't going to get sacked if we lose, For everyone in the live comments who's saying it, this club ain't going to sack Mourinho. Not going to happen.
Whether they sack him or not, I think it's going forward. It's the right thing to do. If they want to salvage this season and make sure they get top 4, I think the sooner the better. Because the last 2, you can say that the performance was good against Leicester. Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best performance. Brighton was an absolute shit show, wasn't it? Really, I mean, to put it politely. And it's been good football in the first half, but second half they just seem to have lost their way. They seem to have lost what they're doing.
Defensive mistakes, isn't it, again? And what's he going to do? Change the team again against Burnley? Because you can't drop Bailly and Lindelof for defensive mistakes and then not do the same again. This is the hypocrisy of Mourinho, is that he'll drop certain players that he doesn't really like after one bad game, but others will just keep getting wheeled out.
I'd better to think what we'll do for the next one. Is it away to Burnley next?
Yeah. See, the trouble with United is we don't have any leaders. So now what's happening is they've had a go for a little bit, and then the heads start to drop.
It's a total different mentality in the second half. Now, they look. I mean, the first minute and a half, they seem to carried on from where they left off. But then, as soon as Spurs started getting possession of the ball and coming into our half, United just looked lost. They did not know what to do. They didn't know how to cope with it. Nothing. The passing went to pot, sloppy passing about, giving possession away. He'll say defensive mistakes again, but let's not forget he bought Bailly and Lindelof. They're his signings. And I guarantee you, next against Burnley, we'll go back to the trusted back four that he's always had, with Ashley Young in there. Luke Shaw will probably get blamed for this, but thankfully,
the thing is, Luke Shaw's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's normally the Mourinho way, isn't it? When people do well, when the youngsters do well, he hangs them out to dry.
Yeah, Zachary Purvis says, I understand that Jones is a joker for centre-half, but why the hell is Herrera playing centre-half? Jose has to go. And Sophie, I have a brother who's a City fan and a brother who's a Liverpool fan, and I'm getting laughed at. God help me, that's terrible. This game is not Mourinho's fault, it's the players' lapse of concentration. Mourinho's tactics have been very good, from Eric. I think his selections have been an absolute embarrassment, Eric, to be honest. Alligator says, when's the last time our club played a full 90 minutes of football? They are absolutely incapable of playing a whole game. Disgraceful. Good. Well, we spoke about that at half time. We did, didn't we? Fair play. Well done, Alligator, because we did talk about that at half time. Would United do what they normally do and have a good and a bad half? And to be honest, that's exactly what we've done, isn't it? We've had a good half and a bad half. And unfortunately, in our good half, for all the chances we created, we didn't take any. And I think it's been I think actually, we can be very critical of United defensively. But the chances we've created, you've got to take those chances. Here's Sanchez. Good tackle by whoever that was, Eric Dyer.
Yeah, Eric Dyer. Yeah.
Marcus, I'm just going to leave you for a minute because I'm absolutely desperate for the toilet.
Yeah,
and I really need to just smash my head up against the wall. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, mate, no worries. Go on in, guys. Let's see what you think. David Smith says, United the gift that keeps on giving. Jose out, Zidane in, says Ed. I think they've got to get rid of him. If it stays like this, which Fellaini's been pulled, no. Looking for that one, Marouane, I'm afraid. But yeah, I think something's got to be done now. A decision has to be made before the international break, because now, I mean, even though City dropped the points to Wolves, you've got to look at the top of the table, and our rivals are leading the way. Our most hated rivals are leading the way, and we are already 6 points off. 3 games gone. It's a joke, absolute joke. Christopher Allay, just not good enough at all. What else can we do? I think the only way it's going to get better if they breathe a bit of new life into the club. Some fresh ideas. That's all they can do, right, Yupo? Absolute disgrace. Defence, says Andrew. They won't sack him. Who can replace him, says Negative Time. Well, I mean, you got Blancs. Zidane is the main one that's free at the minute. 3 Champions Leagues, not to be sniffed at. But can he adapt to the Premier League? That would be the question. You most certainly get the best out of the players. Son Goku, thanks for the contribution. He said, could Mourinho be sacked tonight or tomorrow? You can. Whether it happens or not is a different thing. But yeah, you can be sacked tonight or tomorrow. David, who would you bring in, Marcus? I think in terms of experience and what's been won, I think it would have to be Zidane. Zidane would be the main candidate. Like I say, 3 Champions Leagues. I think that's not to be sniffed at all. I did like Simeone going back a season or 2 ago, but I just think Simeone now is too similar to what we've seen at the minute with Jose. So I think Zidane would be the one.
Paolo Maldini says the people who are Mourinho in are deluded. Oh, God, wish we had the real Paolo Maldini playing in this defence. It's crap. So what we got? 15 minutes.
Sam says I'm deluded. Cheers, mate. I don't think we'll ever get Pochettino. I don't think we'll ever get Pochettino, or not in the next 2 or 3 years anyway. I just think trying to get him out of Spurs with Daniel Levy is a no-go. So, I mean, yeah, Zidane's available. I mean, I see some people in the comments are saying Conte as well. Ugh, I wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't want Conte at the club.
I think the main two, like I said, Zidane with the 3 Champions Leagues, you'd have to consider him a serious contender, and Laurent Blanc, seeing as he's an ex-United player, he knows how to deal with big amounts of money as well. He knows some good talent. Simeone is good at getting the best out of what he's got. I'll see again. Look, another chance goes begging. Luke Shaw with an angled shot from the left. Lukaku just couldn't get his head on it to divert it in the net. This is a game of what could have been, I think. The amount of chances that we created, especially in the first half. I mean, the open goal from Lukaku, the pullback from Lingard, Lukaku's header as well, if he got decent contact on it. But I think Mourinho, just looking at Mourinho there, he just looks a defeated man. He's just, not all is right. I don't care what he says in his press conferences.
From Lingard.
Yeah.
If we could just get one now, it's, we might
make
salvage. I don't think a point's good enough, but, it's better than losing, isn't it? So it wasn't even a good shot. It's just a bit lucky, really, the way it deflected up. Oh, Christ. See, we can't cross.
We can't do nothing.
We can't cross. Even mentioning Simeone and Conte is sick joke, just as bad as Mourinho, says Bio20. Yeah, I'd agree. They're not what we need. I'd rather take Gary Neville and Giggs. I know they've got no real pedigree, but at least they'd try and play the way the club should be playing.
See, I was one for Simeone when just before Mourinho was being appointed. Purely because I think Simeone, he gets that extra 15-20% out of the players. And, he would get the players to play for him. But, Mourinho came in now, the situation now, I think you can't look past Blanc or Zidane. And for me, my vote would go for Zidane.
Oh, I'll tell you what, if Sanchez scores that, it's a worldie.
Yeah.
He doesn't. I don't know. I feel a bit like I did against Brighton, just like another bad week coming up, another bad week of press. Mourinho won't be going anywhere. I never in a million years thought we were going to lose this, and that's not being disrespectful to Spurs. I know Spurs are a good team, but I expected Manchester United, having lost so embarrassingly badly to Brighton, playing at Old Trafford, the record we've got against Spurs, I expected us to put in a performance tonight and win the game of football, and I don't think that's too much to ask. Look, we'll all be frustrated at the moment, but you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised when you pick players like he did in the defence. You can't be surprised when you lose goals like that. You just can't. You can't. It's an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, people would even put it down to saying like this is why he needed a centre back in the summer. But I think the counter argument to that is, well, we've already bought you 2. You've got 5-6 centre backs. Before Daley Blind went, you've got 6 centre backs there already. What do you need another one for? So we've still got Smalling, Jones, Bailey, Rojo, Lindelof. So I mean that's 5. That's 5 there. But we've got no replacement for the right hand side. We've got no natural replacement for Valencia. Luke Shaw and Ashley Young on the left. Fine. But who goes in there if Valencia gets injured? Fosu Mensah going out on loan was a stupid decision in my eyes. He could have quite easily been in there tonight, like I said earlier, in the back three on the right hand side instead of Herrera.
go.
So
Spurs
why?
are in again here. Ericsson, decent. Just over the bar.
But again, dangerous shot. If that just dips towards the end of the flight of the ball, that's in the net. De Gea's nowhere with that.
Spurs 9 points if they hold on. United on 3 with Arsenal.
Yeah. Disappointing. You really thought the players would, Mourinho would gear them up to get out there tonight in front of the home crowd. Put in a performance, start afresh, like Ross said earlier. Forget the game against Brighton. Let's go from now. Our season starts now, but they're just not. They're not into it at all.
Well,
it's almost like stop believing in him.
Yeah. King Renzel says our players would respect Zidane. They know he's a world-class footballer. David Bromley says get rid of Mourinho and bring in Ryan Giggs. And Way Itev says as bad as this second half has been, Luke Shaw has probably been one of the better players for United today. Very lively and has actually put good crosses in. Different player as an advanced fullback. I think Luke Shaw's been fantastic. But I was going to actually ask people at home and Marcus this as well. In all honesty, what Manchester United player, apart from Luke Shaw, again, gets average or better? Realistically, I know we've played quite well in the first half, but I think Lingard's ran around a lot, but I don't think he's had a good game. I think Fred has done okay. Pogba, again, disappointing for the sort of player that he is. Matic, rusty. Herrera is a right-sided centre-back. Come on. Lukaku, wasteful. Valencia looks rusty. Smalling has done okay. I think Luke Shaw, again, has been the only player on the pitch. Jack Coleman says Ralph Hasenhüttl, next manager. He's free. RP Leipzig. I mean, if United don't get a goal in the next minute, I think we're going to struggle to even get a point out of this. And it's Spurs coming forward here with Moura skipping past Smalling. He has as well.
He's gone past him.
As well.
It's 3. And it's 3. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I know we got to go for it, man. But
for that, not even a wrong word.
I know we've got to go for it, and but I mean, where's the other centre back? Where is Lindelof?
The thing is, though, I like Smalling. I think he's a good backup centre back, but this is a 1v1, and he's just left you there.
Yeah,
he's absolutely left you there. Stand him up. He's already, as a centre back, when you've got a 1v1 like that, stand him up. Don't bloody start turning to play a running race with him.
The thing is there, Mark, I mean, I don't profess to be like a professional just because I played or anything like that, but Smalling should know that guy's got no left foot, right? He should be showing it down that left hand, Smalling's right hand side. But no, he's let him cut in on his right. I mean, his body positioning there was all wrong. He should be showing him down the left. Especially when you're that far out from goal as well.
Embarrassing. Well, there's a United fan there praying. It's too late for that, mate. What are you praying for, mate? Maybe he's just in shock. You can't pray at 3-0 down with 5 minutes to go. I'm sorry. There's no God going to help you with that.
I mean, even the fans, they look lifeless. And it's a shame. It really is a shame because this team, the players in this team, have got potential if played the right way. Mourinho's way, or Mourinho's, and I hate to say the word, philosophy, does not suit these players at all. Because a lot of these players are attacking players. They are. I mean, Luke Shaw, he's a good wing back going forward. Valencia, good at going forward, but he's crap at crossing. Fred, good at going forward. Alexis, forward. Lukaku, Lingard, Rashford, Martial, all forwards. Pogba. But
the thing is as well, is like, I'm sure Mourinho will never come out and say it's his fault. That's just not what he's going to do. And as Old Trafford, I mean, it's sad. This is sad to see Old Trafford emptying like that. And I don't have the audio on, so I don't know what the reaction is. I don't know whether there's booing. I would hope not. I don't think people would chant Mourinho out. I don't think that would happen. Maybe people in the live comments can let us know. But the thing is, he changed. A lot of us disagreed with this. He changed over half of his team for this game, and they've still let 3 goals in and made defensive mistakes. So that's his whole team can't defend, because it's a whole different team really today, and they've let 3 goals in. And then again, he changes it to the people he can apparently support and trust, and they've done it as well. How long do you think it'll be before he gets sacked now, says Jacob? Look, Jacob will be going live straight after this. We're going to do a call-in. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to take a lot of your opinions, and we'll talk about that. I think we can safely say that Manchester United are going to lose this game now, so we'll talk about that during that. But yeah, 6 points off Liverpool and and Spurs and Chelsea. It's just.
I mean, it's like we said earlier, right? Where has this football been for 2 years from that first half?
Second half, where it's second half, it's disappeared, hasn't it?
Second half, it's gone again. It's gone again. He just cannot. I mean, who's this down there? Is that Luke Shaw?
Yeah, I think he'll get it.
He just cannot keep the mentality of the players up, he can't keep their spirits up throughout 90 minutes. And, it's not just tonight's game. We saw it last season as well. So this shouldn't be. I mean, all right, the result's disappointing, but the topsy-turvy first half and second half, this isn't anything new to us. We've seen it before, and it's just a question of how much longer we, as fans, prepared to take this. But I'm not willing to take it any longer. I want him out now. I've had enough. You don't play like that in the first half. Come out second half, and act as though you're already 2-3-0 up. But again, there's no fight, there's no passion in the second half. Nothing. Lifeless.
I think even on the most basic level, if Mourinho does come out again and say it's about defensive mistakes, how many games can you keep saying it when it's different players doing it?
Yeah.
That's got to reflect on you as a coach. Why are players not motivated? Why are people making mistakes? Are they too nervous because the manager's a dictator? Are they not playing for the manager? I don't know, but too many people are making too many mistakes. And to be honest, much the same as Brighton, we've created very little in the last half an hour. At the first half, we created loads.
I mean, how many times as well can he chuck the players under the bus as well? Because it's no wonder, the players out there thinking, well, you're going to keep on throwing me under the bus every time you do an interview. Why should I give my 110% out of the pitch for you? Why should I? I'm quite happy to just take my money and play the game, and it should not be like that at all. These players should have some pride. If they're not going to play for the Mourinho, they should at least try and play for the badge, at least.
Sanchez with the shot. Lloris just catching practice, really.
What's that? First shot on target, second half. 90th minute. Ludicrous.
I tell you what, I know over the last 5 years things have gone wrong at Manchester United, but I thought when we got Mourinho that we would be saying goodbye to that. And I don't think under Van Gaal or Moyes, and certainly not under Mourinho, have we lost 2 of our first 3. And that's the situation. 2 of our first 3, 2 of which have been at home. So, it's not good enough.
It's going the exact same way as his Chelsea third season.
Yeah. And you know what? He can moan about not being backed by the board, but he kept Fellaini at the club. And, Fellaini has his uses, but he's brought him on for over half an hour in the last 2 games, and we've done next to nothing with him on the pitch.
No, yeah. Yeah, but again, I mean, they're not playing the long ball tactics like they normally do. No. They're not hoofing the ball up to him. Yeah. So is that going against... Is that the player going against what he's told them, or what they know happens when he comes on? I mean, there's the long ball up to him there. That's the first long ball I've seen to him from Valencia. I remember in the cup final tearing up the LVG book and just going for it. It's disgraceful performance.
Well,
I think
how we've managed to lose this game 3-0, I don't know. Biggie Third says, when Mourinho starts a season like this, it never ends well. That's why he has to go. Makes no sense hanging on. He kind of went for it in this game, though. And Louis 25, bring in Eddie Howe, try something new or go out, get Zidane or another world-class manager. Well, United should be a draw for any class manager. Yeah. Well, look, we're going to be live straight after this game. The link is in the first line of the video description, hopefully. Yes, it is. So you can call in and have your say. Yeah, we'll take it from there.
I didn't want to believe, Mark. A lot of people in the comments have been saying for the last 12, 18 months, he's outdated, dinosaur tactics. These tactics don't work in the Premier League anymore. And I tried my hardest to not agree with it. But watching this tonight, I can actually say I understand now what they mean. I do understand. And I totally agree with him. He's an outdated manager now. He's too arrogant and too set in his ways to change. He's never going to change. And I just don't. His style just does not suit. It does not suit the players. It doesn't suit the crowd. And it's a shame because he was a top-class manager. But I think the job was too big for him. I mean, even the so-called special one.
He's just a bad fit for the club, isn't he? His style of football doesn't suit the club, and especially it's a bad time for him because everybody else is playing this great football, and he's still trying to do something that worked 10, 15 years ago. Well, not 15, 5, 10 years ago. It is sad. But I'm looking at him there like he might get the sack, and he's not. So it's sad for us because he ain't going anywhere. Woodward won't sack him. Get Jose Jones, Fellaini, and Smalling out, says Shane Parker. Look, link in the video description. We're going live with your calls straight after the game, and you can have your say on it. But I
had a conversation with Rodney a couple of weeks ago, and he was asking me about Mourinho, and I said to him, he was the right guy at the right time. But I think the third season, he's probably outstayed his welcome. And these last two results, and performance-wise, I think it says everything. It says, and that when the camera was just on him there on the sidelines, a picture says 1,000 words, doesn't it? And he's even look. Come on, man. The game's not even over yet. I know you're not going to win, but
yeah, we've lost as many as City did last season, says Manan. Yeah,
and the season's only just kicked off. We're nowhere near a title, not even a challenge, nowhere near whatsoever.
Yeah, I hope we get some different sort of opinions on the call-in because I think that
I hope people call in. And,
I don't see what people can say about keeping him now.
I do hope they call in and they defend him and want to keep him in because it's like a broken record else, isn't it? But
there you go.
I mean,
well, Marcus, thanks for calling in as per usual and being there.
No worries.
I still think Mourinho will be the boss against us on Burnley, but just very, very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed.
No worries,
comes
mate.
on the pick and gives Luke Shaw a cuddle, but other than that,
don't look happy.
Get out. I think. Anyway, link in the video description. We're going live with your calls straight away. So thanks to Marcus for coming on. I'm going to start taking your calls as soon as we start up, and I'll speak to you a bit, pal.
No worries. Thank you. Thank everyone. Bye.
Cheers to Marcus. I'm killing this link. Link in the video description. I'll go through the homepage and we'll do the after-match stuff for the next hour or so. I'll speak to you in a moment.